Welcome to ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Against the backdrop of speed and strength and agility, today Capital One Bowl Week builds to a climax, an intriguing matchup between the Big Ten and the SEC from Tampa. The boundless strength of Middle America and the lethal speed of the South. Put together, it possesses a very combustible bit of potential. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the Florida Gators, both with unremitting, unrelenting quarterbacks who possess unwavering poise and confidence. The Hawkeyes, Drew Tate, and the Gators, Chris Leak, both with bowl-tested, top-notch coaches at the helm. Kirk Ferentz, 7 seasons now at Iowa. And Urban Meyer looking to finish strong in his first year at Florida. This game capturing the essence of bowl games, bringing together schools and philosophies, fans from thousands of miles apart, from the heartland to the swamps. The Gators, the Hawkeyes, folks. There's a New Year's party going on in the Outback Bowl here in Tampa, Florida, and it's coming up next. A radiant sky high above Raymond James Stadium for this, the third meeting all time between Florida and Iowa. Number 25, the Hawkeyes, against number 16, the Gators. It's the Big Ten against the SEC. And this game, folks, is available on ESPN HD, presented by DLP Picture Technology. A gorgeous day here in Tampa, Florida, and some great coaches on the sidelines. Kirk Ferentz, the Sage veteran, 7 years out of Iowa City, and Urban Meyer making a meteoric rise to the near top of the coaching profession in college coaching in the last couple of years. This part of the pomp and pageantry that is bowl season. Right at midfield. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, along with Chris Spielman, Rob Stone down to the field. From all of us here at ESPN to all of you at home, all the best in 2006. And Chris, when you look at perceptions, stereotypes, they die very slowly. Whenever you conjure up images of the Big Ten against the SEC, it's strength against speed. How much of that is reality? How much is just perception?
Well, I think in this century, the 21st century, that is just that, perception, because numbers don't lie. The numbers I look at is the number of NFL players. You're talking about when the opening day of the 2005 NFL season, there were 37 players from the SEC on rosters and 35 players from the Big Ten. And Mark, the last time I looked, there are no slow sissies in the NFL, buddy. They can all run and they all can hit.
When you look at the players on the field today, you start at quarterback with Florida, and there's a reason why Chris Leak, their starting junior quarterback, was a Heisman Trophy candidate at the beginning of the season. He has boundless talent, but he's going up against some equally talented linebackers for Iowa.
We'll start with Chris Leak. Now, he's undergone a new offense. He's trying to learn. He has learned. He works diligently in the film room. But when Chris Leak will be dangerous for this Florida offense when he starts running the football, and maybe that will happen in the game. Then you have Abdul Hodge, right? The best leader Kirk Ferentz has ever had on his football team, and his running mate. They're together all the time, Chad Greenway. It's a nice little matchup within the matchup, the battle within the battle. Whoever wins it will probably win the football game.
And Rob Stone, a certain buzz around Kirk Ferentz, a former coach of the year.
Around him this time of the year. As of early this morning, there were 4 NFL head coach vacancies. There may be more within the next 10 minutes, to be honest. Kirk Ferentz's name already mentioned with some of them. Spoke late last night with ESPN's NFL expert Chris Mortensen, and he told me that for years, Ferentz has been at the top of a lot of NFL coaching lists, yet he has always resisted their advances. However, according to Chris's sources, he is getting indications that this year, he is, for the first time, willing to listen to what opportunities may be out there. He will not take just any job, but Mortensen told me, without a doubt, he will be a candidate once this bowl game is over for the openings at Houston, Detroit, and Minnesota. Spoke with Coach Ferentz just moments ago, downplayed the situation, said it was flattering. It's better than being on the fired list. And Mark, this one interesting note, I said, hey, there's 4 openings. He said, Rob, I heard there's going to be 8 to 12. He is in the loop.
Yeah, he's certainly wired in, and his credentials, his resume certainly would warrant garnered a lot of interest from NFL teams. He did a marvelous rebuilding job at Iowa beginning 7 years ago, where he started off at just 1-10. Chris.
Yeah, and also, Mark, he has NFL experience on the offensive side of the ball, specifically the offensive line. And the reason why I personally believe this is his last year, this is also his son's final game that he coaches, Brian Ferentz.
Brian Ferentz, an offensive lineman, and Florida winning the toss. They'll defer to the second half. That means Iowa will be on offense first. Let's take a look at the Hawkeye offensive unit, finishing strongly this year with 2 consecutive wins. Yanda, Elgin, Ferentz, the center, the son of the coach, Mike Jones, and Ben Gates at tackle. Ed Hinkle came back from an injury. We'll talk about that as the show progresses. Chandler and Solomon, the team's leading receivers, respectively. In the backfield, Albert Young is one of the great stories in the Big Ten this year. Pretty much nameless under the radar as the season began, but he has run for 7 consecutive games of over 100 yards plus. As back for the kick, it's Damian Sims for the Hawkeyes. And he is met at the 12-yard line. A good stick on the play by Kyle Morgan. And that's what it'll be 1st and 10 for Drew Tate, starting quarterback, a 6-foot junior. 64% completion rate on the season. Had 19 touchdown passes to go along with 6 interceptions. Drew Tate very much a barometer for his team's success. 1st and 10, starting from their own 12. Ed Hinkle in motion at the top of your screen. Tate gonna pass, and it's complete to Ed Hinkle. Hinkle knocked out of bounds right near the 1st down marker. Pushed down by Vernell Brown, who's coming back from injury. Let's take a look first at the front 4 for the Gators. Mincy, Harris, Thomas, and Cohen. They'll rotate in at least 3 more players up front. Earl Everett, the team's leading tackler. Brandon Seiler and Todd McCullough, the linebacking crew. And in the secondary, Kyle Jackson, Jarvis Herring, Lewis, and Webb on the corners. An 11-yard pickup on 1st down. It'll be 1st down and 10 from the 23 for Iowa. Tate gonna hand it off to Albert Young, and he finds a nice seam between the tackles, running behind Ferentz and Mike Elgin. Albert Young is a 5'10" sophomore, has undergone a lot of adversity in the early part of his career, overcoming a lot of injuries in his first 2 seasons. Leading rusher in the Big Ten this year, 1,300 yards.
And really probably the main reason for the emergence of Iowa toward the end of the year and how well they played. Albert Young is everything that Kirk Ferentz wants in the back. Number 1 thing he has is toughness, Mark. He'll hit it up in there with a purpose.
2nd down and 5 for the Hawkeyes. It's Albert Young again, spinning off 1 tackler, brought down to the 28-yard line. Joe Cohen and Jarvis Herring making the stop for the Florida defense. This defense for Florida, very tough. 7th in the nation in yards per game.
And let me tell you what's happening out there. Now, Vernell Brown's coming back off a broken leg, and he and Clinton Solomon are out there battling one-on-one away from the play. If I'm Iowa right now, I got the matchup I want. Vernell Brown's coming off a broken leg. I want to see if he's healed. He's matched up right here against Ed Hinkle.
Broke his leg against Vanderbilt about 7 weeks ago. 3rd and 5 coming up. Grigsby in motion for the Hawkeyes. Tate to pass. Incomplete at the 45-yard line. A couple of receivers were in the area. Grigsby as well as Solomon battling down the sidelines. And it's 4th down for the Hawkeyes. Urban Meyer in his first year as head coach.
Urban loves the game. It's hard for him. He's quiet off the field, Mark, but in between those lines, man, he burns fire. You can see the competition and the excitement of this bowl game means to himself and his Gator football team.
That's Chad Jackson standing on his own 30-yard line, ready to receive this punt from Andy Fenstermaker.
I'm coming after if I'm Florida. Come get it. See what they got. Got it.
And they got it.
There you go.
It's blocked. And Florida's going to score. Jermel Cornelius with the recovery on the block. Tremaine McCullum with the recovery off the Cornelius block.
And you see right there, they just get penetration. Somebody lets him go through, and he does a nice job. Cornelius putting his hands down and taking it off the foot. Has to come trying to swat it down from above.
Chris Hetland with the extra point. Ironically, it was a year ago that Iowa blocked a punt, which turned the momentum in their favor. This time, it's the Gators with the first big play of the game. Back after this.
When you're little, mistakes have cute names like oops, whoops, and boo-boo. Now, make a mistake on your taxes, and oops and whoops become fines and penalties. But when you come to H&R Block, you don't have to worry. We guarantee our work. If we make any mistakes, we'll pay the penalties. That way, your little oops never becomes a major uh-oh.
Guaranteed accurate tax preparation from H&R Block in your corner.
My man Sean was going big in the super pipe. Grown-up boy can do anything.
Are you guys talking about MacGyver?
Winter X Games 10 starts Saturday, January 28th on ABC and ESPN.
Okay, so you shave early, but your date isn't until 7 p.m. So what do you think your beard's doing? Taking a nap? It's not. That's why there's Schick Quattro Midnight. With 4 blades, nothing shaves closer, keeping you smooth into the night. Schick Quattro Midnight. Nothing beats the power of 4. And try the new Schick Quattro Power for a less irritating shave than your current razor. New Schick Quattro Power. Turn on the power of 4.
Miami has a 4-point lead over BC. Here's your ball game, folks, as Flutie takes the snap. He drops straight back. Now scrambles away from one hit. Looks, uncorks a deep one for the end zone. Phelan is down there. Oh, he got it! He got it! He got it!
With 100% whole grain, 110 calories, and low fat, Wheaties can help you get fit to win.
Flutie did it! Touchdown!
Now it's your turn to get into playing shape. Join the Fit to Win Challenge at Wheaties.com.
eLoan offers home equity loans with online appraisals and respect. Find out how much equity is in your home by applying today with eLoan. Those are some of the revolutionary ways we're changing the lending industry. eLoan. Radically simple.
Florida with the lead off the block punt. Chris, where's the break?
Yeah, take a look. Watch Abdul Hodge right here in the guard. They're going to get 2 guys on 1, which allows Cornelius to come free. See, 2 guys on 1. Cornelius comes free, takes it right off the hands. And the reason why I said they're going to come after Mark, they're setting the tempo. They're going to play aggressive. They played pretty good defense. If they got a penalty, it wouldn't matter. They'd still have decent field position to go with. Great job by Urban Meyer and his staff to take the fight to the Hawkeyes.
Jamal Cornelius with the block and then the recovery made by number 18, McCollum. Hawkeyes going to try it again. Sims from his own 6. And Damian Sims brought down at the 24-yard line. Drew Tate back in on offense. Drew Tate, formerly the most prolific passer in Texas high school football, and a lot of expectations set for him earlier this season. And even his head coach, Kirk Ferentz, said that we would be as good as he would be during the course of the season. They got out of the gate 2-2, and turning point came in that Ohio State game. He lost his poise, and Coach Ferentz had a nice sit-down talk with him, and he got back on track after that. First down and 10. See how he responds to the adversity here. He responds in kind. A first down to Ed Hinkle at the 43-yard line. Hinkle was working against Kyle Jackson.
Well, he got his comforter back. His comforter is Ed Hinkle. He does a nice job of letting Ed keep working. And watch this. He's going to throw him open. See, Hinkle's covered, but he throws him open by throwing him to the inside. And Ed Hinkle will put his head down and get the extra yards. Tough guy. We saw Mark when he had a tough injury in Purdue where he broke his arm, but it doesn't waver his toughness. He is not passive.
Incredible that he would come back before the end of the regular season. And in those last 2 games against Wisconsin and Minnesota, here's Tate looking up top. He can run, but couldn't hide on that play. Sacked at the 38 by Mincy and Marcus Thomas.
You know, actually, the protection wasn't that bad. When Drew Tate, he has time to step up into the pocket. When you do step up into the pocket, you got to make a decision. Tuck it and go, or sling the rock. Don't dance around because the pocket then collapses.
Mincy with 4.5 sacks now on the season. I mentioned the strength of this Florida defense. 7th in the nation in yards per game. 10th against the rush. Second and 13 coming up for Iowa here. A three-receiver formation. They hand it off to Albert Young. And Young stays on his feet and makes it out beyond the 45-yard line. It'll be third down and about 6 to go for Iowa. Talked about Albert Young and how he responded from injuries early in his career. A couple of years ago, he broke a bone in his leg as a freshman. Then last season, tore his ACL. And this year came back to put up 1,300 yards. Picked up 8 on that run. Third down and 6 coming up now for Iowa.
You see the great lower body strength as he ran through the arm tackle with middle linebacker Brandon Seiler. A lot of times when you come back from injuries, you come back stronger.
So Vernell Brown, who's also coming back from injury, right there for Florida. Tate fires complete and a first down to his tight end. The leading receiver on the team, Scott Chandler, an imposing target at 6'7". Brought down by Earl Everett, but he picked up 15 yards on the play for another Hawkeye first down.
Well, Earl Everett is arguably the best athlete that Florida has on their defensive side of the ball, but he's no match for the size of 6'7" Scott Chandler. Scott Chandler just uses his body, and you see when he ran the route, Mark, he didn't round it, he cut it sharp and had a great angle, and Drew Tate was just waiting, delivered a strike.
First down and 10, they hand it off. Albert Young back in the ball game, gets the carry over the left side, running over Elgin and Ferentz. Brandon Seiler making the stop for the Gators.
We'll go back to Drew Tate a second. You mentioned the fact that Drew lost his cool and composure a little bit against Ohio State. And Coach Ferentz set him down and said, hey, Drew, you could be as good as you want to be. Mark, he is a remarkable young quarterback. Remember, the media had him picked at the Big Ten season as preseason conference offensive player of the year, and he's really upped his game. He's a fiery competitor, and once he harnesses that, he's going to be an unstoppable force in the Big Ten.
Coach Ferentz telling him basically, hey, never let the opposition see you sweat. Hands it off once again to Albert Young, who's brought down at the 36-yard line. Good stop that time by Everett and Jarvis Moss. Florida defense 10th in the nation against the run. Approaching 10 minutes to play. Florida leading 7-0, just getting underway, and Florida amongst the leaders in the nation in turnover margin as well.
That's a huge number, plus 18.
March already scored off a blocked punt early in the ball game. 3rd and 7 coming up for Iowa.
And here's big Scott Chandler. It's kind of his area now. Big body, man-to-man coverage Florida's playing.
Out of the shotgun, Drew Tate. Plenty of time and incomplete at the 25-yard line, broken up by Vernell Brown. And Brown says, hey, the jury may be out, but I'm going to make sure that they render a verdict in my favor, that I'm okay.
Well, at 5'8", he does a great job of body control, not hooking the receiver and coming across and knocking the ball down. And the reason why he was able to play such good man-to-man coverage, 2 linebackers take away Chandler. You got 2 guys running with Chandler. Here comes Ed Hinkle on a curl. And look at the body coverage of coming up, not hooking Ed Hinkle's hip and getting a long arm across. Excellent job of executing your techniques under pressure.
We'll see if Iowa adjusts here to that last block punt. And look for a touchdown. Fenstermacher in. Vernell Brown standing in his own 10. He'll watch it go into the end zone. And the Florida Gators off the 35-yard punt will start off on their own 20-yard line. Chris Leak, the starting quarterback for the Gators, will take the reins of Florida's offense. An interesting story with Chris Leak and Iowa. They are strangely connected. Tell you more about that on the other side.
What did you do?
I had to fire the guy. You know what just hit me? We should go to Outback for the new Cairn Citrus Chicken. Marinated, seasoned, charred, grilled in a citrus glaze.
Mind if I join you?
Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Red 21! Red! Prime rib! Seasoned, seared, slow roasted at Outback!
Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
I'm open! I'm open!
Looking for great prices on thousands of DVDs? Circuit City makes it simple. Starting Tuesday, take home Wedding Crashers on DVD for just $14.99 and get a free deck of playing cards. Circuit City.
My knee used to ache so bad, I couldn't go out. I used a heating pad. I couldn't go out. Then I found Thermacare Heat Wraps for knees. It heats up, the pain melts away. It's like a heating pad that can go anywhere. Like me.
A gift from the gentleman over there.
Adam Stern was a born spender.
Get yourself something nice.
Mr. Stern, you gonna climb that rope?
2X has already climbed it.
Good climbing, Stern.
Thank you, sir.
But today, every time Adam uses one from American Express, we make a deposit to a high-yield savings account.
Finish your peas.
Did you tell Mom you bought a boat?
He's done.
Now, when Adam spends, he also saves. Introducing one from American Express.
ESPN College Football, the Outback Bowl, is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. And in part by Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. And Circuit City. For the hottest new technology, think Circuit City. Just what I needed.
Well, these beautiful views from high above the Outback Bowl are courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse airship, the Bloomin' Onion 1. The Bloomin' Onion 1 specializing in aerial coverage, college football, and PGA Tour golf. Hey, it wouldn't be an Outback Bowl without the Bloomin' Onion. First down and 10. Chris Leak, the starting quarterback for the Florida Gators. And before he can even snap it, there's a flag down on the far side of the field.
Call the start, number 72 on the offense. The 5-yard penalty, the main first down.
This is a Conference USA officiating crew, and folks, we will be using the Big Ten replay system in this ball game as we have throughout the bowl season.
And it should be noted that Conference USA used replay during their regular season, unlike the Sun Belt Conference, where the whole controversy came in with Michigan, Nebraska.
Chris Leak completing 63% of his passes this year against 18 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions, airs it out on first down, and it's incomplete. Mitch King with some good pressure up front as we take a look at the starters for Florida. 4 out of their 5 offensive linemen are seniors. Butler, Rissler, DeGore, Washington, and Randy Hand, the left tackle. Chad Jackson, the team's fastest receiver, along with Cornelius, Tate Casey, and Dallas Baker, a tall target at 6'4". He's the X receiver on the outside, and Chris Leak and Keyston Moore gets the start in place of Deshaun Wynn at tailback. 2nd and 15 coming up now for the Gators. The handoff is to Moore, and Moore breaks one. Keyston Moore with the first down out of the 42, and finally brought down to the 45-yard line. A missed tackle on the play by Antoine Allen coming off the corner. A pickup of 29 yards.
It's very good vision by you, Mark. This play is actually well defense. You see Antoine Allen coming in, number 20, to stop it for a 3-yard gain, and he ends up tackling Air. Air will break a tackle every single time. But if they can establish the running game, Norm Parker, the defensive coordinator of Iowa, told us, hey, we might as well pack our gate bags and go home if they can get the ball on the ground.
First down and 10, closer to midfield at the 44, out of the shotgun. Moore again. A couple more missed tackles, but Abdul Hodge, folks, will not miss many tackles. He finally made the stop after the 7-yard pickup downstairs to Rob.
Urban Meyer told us he wants someone to take control of the tailback position to become a 1,400-yard rusher. Today, the true freshman Moore gets that opportunity. The coaching staff, Mark, opened up the competition in practice before bowl week. They wanted someone to show the work ethic that proved they want the job more. He's not a game breaker, more of an all-around back. He won it. Reps still may be split, but Moore gets the first crack at hogging the pigskin.
And so far, Rob, doing a pretty nice job as Florida moves into Iowa's side of midfield. More flags down on the field. Florida already has been penalized once. Urban Meyer, former coach of the year and former head coach at Bowling Green and then Utah.
Ball start, number 84. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Second penalty against the Gators. Deshaun Wynn had been the starter prior to this game. And at times he has been in and out of Urban Meyer's doghouse. Early in the season, fought some weight and injury issues, and His doghouse is not a good place to be.
No, you gotta earn your way out of there. You can't eat your way out. You gotta earn it out.
He's really changed the culture at Florida. 2nd down and 8. Leak has time and completes the pass to Moore out of the backfield. Brought down right at midfield by Antoine Allen. Let's take a look at the Hawkeye defensive front. Webema led the team in sacks. Cruel, Mitch King, and Brian Madison, the son of the defensive coordinator for the Gators. Hodge and Greenway inseparable. Miles, the quote-unquote other linebacker up front, but still talented. On the corners, it's Allen and Johnson, Pascal and Merrick, the safeties. Right at midfield, 3rd down and 3 for the Gators. An empty formation. Pass complete to Chad Jackson. And he stopped up at about the 45 by Chad Greenway, but it looks as if he got the 1st down for the Gators. And Chris Leak has just gone over 8,000 yards passing for his collegiate career with that completion.
Well, what they do is they put 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. They have 2 flanked out down here, and that Chris Leak had one option. That was the big fella right there, who he threw the ball in a slant to. Easy pass, easy catch for a group that's skilled.
1st down and 10. Marcus Manson now in a tailback with Gators. He gets the handoff. Nice seam running right up the middle between the tackles. Hodge and Greenway once again making the stop. But so far, Chris, it appears as if they're gashing that Iowa defensive front.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the whole thing that Norm Parker talked about, was that if Florida can run the football, pack your bags and go home. And they're going to force Iowa to bring another man into the box. And when you do that, that's when Florida has you, because they'll spread you out of the field, then they'll start hurting you through the air.
Been a work in progress for most of the year up front defensively for Iowa. They replaced 4 guys that went to the NFL. On 2nd and 3, Leak dropping back, has his man open, and it's complete at the 21-yard line. Chad Jackson with his 2nd catch of the ball game. Folks, this afternoon, hey, the BCS kicks off when A.J. Hawk, Ohio State, Brady Quinn, Notre Dame. Great matchup in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl at 4:30 Eastern on ABC. Then at 8 Eastern, DJ Shockley in Georgia face Big East champs West Virginia in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. BCS Bowl games are all available on ABC Sports.
And right there was Chris Leak, that last play I want to talk about real quick. It was a great throw behind. He threw behind Chad Jackson, who adjusted nicely to make the catch.
Leak hands it off once again to Moore. And Moore with another good gain across the 15, brought down to the 14-yard line. He's talked about adjustments, been in a season of adjustments for Chris Leak in the way that they have kind of pared down the offense and modified it to his likings, Chris.
Well, and he's had an input on it, Mark, and what he likes and he doesn't like. But I want to show you something. Look at the difference between a running back and a quarterback. Now, that's a key for Iowa. If they see that discrepancy as far as the lineup and the depth go, then you got to put your run ears on and tell everybody, run, run, run. That could be a key to watch as this game progresses.
2nd down and 4. Leak out of the shotgun again. Ball was tipped, but still caught. Down to the 3-yard line, Chad Jackson racking up some impressive stats, albeit early, with his 3rd catch of the game. An 11-yard pickup, another 1st down. Chad Greenway making the tackle for Iowa.
Well, here's Chad Jackson, and watch this route. He avoids the collision, does a little read route on Greenway, who's a good cover linebacker, but not quite good enough to hang with Chad Jackson. He's got to keep his eye on a receiver as opposed to looking at the quarterback. If you're going to keep the guy from the inside, you got to take away the inside, not go for the okey-doke.
Diane Boateng into the ball game now for Jackson. A little shaken up. 1st down and goal for Florida on this, their 1st offensive possession of the ball game. And Moore got his world rocked by Abdul Hodge. Abdul Hodge, the senior, one of the leaders in the nation amongst leading tackles.
Yeah, he's a good football player. Here they're going to run to ISO and watch Abdul Hodge come in from the backside linebacker untouched. And when you deliver a hit and you're untouched, watch this. 1 step and wrap, 2 steps and squeeze, and bring your feet and come with bad intentions. Exactly how it's supposed to be done, Abdul.
Boyd Anderson High School, just 3 hours down the turnpike in Fort Lauderdale. 2nd and goal. This is the 11th play of the Gator drive. Leak going to keep it himself, and he falls at the 4-yard line. Turf might be a little bit damp at this point. Edmund Miles there to pounce on Leak as he fell, and it was a quick turnaround because they had a football game here last night. Tampa Bay Bucks played,
and he had 6 points because he threw the okey doke, and the okey doke worked. But he faked himself out. You got to keep your feet underneath you. It looked like he tried to cut off the inside leg as opposed to the outside leg and lost his footing.
Jamal Cornelius game on 3rd and goal. Leak. Nobody to throw to, and he falls once again back at the 6-yard line. 4th and goal coming up. But everybody apparently covered on the passing routes. 4th and goal coming up, and Norm Parker, the defensive coordinator, perhaps breathing a sigh of relief.
That was a big stop for them. And again, Chris Leak had room to run, losing his footing. He needs to see the equipment man on there and get the long spikes in. I like the call here to get points on the board, though. No need to go for it here.
Chris Hetland with the field goal attempt from 23 yards. And folks, he missed it to the right. Seemingly a chip shot goes awry for Hetland, who was 12 of 14 on the year. And I get an earful from the head coach on that one. We'll be back after this.
Get me closer, man. I smell a Hemi. I knew it! The new Ram 1500 with a new front end, new suspension, new frame. It's got a Hemi, all right. And that MDS to save you gas. A new interior. Woo! That can't be good.
Now through January 3rd, get $1,000 year-end bonus cash and grab an 05 Ram for under 15 grand.
You all right? Yeah, just no football injury. Tore my rotator cuff against the Giants in '88. Yeah, got to play hurt though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I burnt my tongue on some lentil soup last night. It really hurts.
Be okay to do the show?
Oh, yeah. I'll suck it up.
What makes them different makes them great. Mike and Mike in the morning on ESPN.
Remember, gentlemen, your favorite team plays 7 nights a week at Southern Exposure in Princeton, Bradley, and Barbersville. You'll find over 20 players on each Southern Exposure field, and the action is red hot. So when you're tired of watching the game on TV, remember where and when we play. 7 nights a week at Southern Exposure in Barbersville, Princeton, and Bradley.
Gravity can be conquered. Bring it on. This is what high def is all about. Only NHD takes you higher every Tuesday with airtime.
Call today for Adelphia HD and get the whole picture.
Hi, I'm Ben Novello, president of Outback Steakhouse. We're extremely honored to be the title sponsor of the Outback Bowl. The strong foundation of this game can be traced to our partnerships with the SEC, Big Ten, and ESPN. Strong partnerships just like at your local Outback Steakhouse, where the proprietor's name over each door signifies our partnership in the community. I would like to thank all the Outbackers worldwide for their dedication and wish our employees, partners, shareholders, and patrons a happy and prosperous 2006.
Florida leading 7-0, and on the heels of that, you're not going to be fed better than you are at a bowl game like this.
No, they do a great job down here. It's an awesome bowl game. There's energy in this building, Mark, and I'm feeding off of it right now.
A sellout crowd of well over 65,000 in attendance. 23,000 of them Iowa Hawkeye fans. They sold their full allotment. Tate under heat. And Tate wisely throws it away. Good pressure up front by Brandon Seiler, who came on the blitz for the Gators. Under 3 minutes to go now in the first period.
Right there was a breakdown in protection, obviously scheme-wise for Kirk Ferentz and his offense. But Drew Tate has that ability to escape, and maybe you saw a little bit of the composure that Kirk is trying to get Drew to instill into his game, where he throws it away as opposed to trying to make him difficult throw across his body across the field.
2nd and 10. Drew Tate originally committed to Texas A&M. R.C. Slocum was fired. He changed his mind and turned his attentions toward Iowa. Here's Albert Young, who is also highly recruited. Pushed out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Make that the 17, pardon me. Jarvis Herring making the stop on the play. But ironically, getting back to Drew Tate, both he and Chris Leak had their recruiting visit on campus in Iowa City on the very same day. It's interesting that their careers would respectively be entwined in that way. I'm not sure about that, but certainly Florida gets their share of great recruits, and Urban Meyer already with a lot of success in that department, getting some key oral commitments. A loss of 3 on the last play. 3rd and 13 coming up. Tate working out of the shotgun. Under pressure again, and Hinkle makes the catch, but it's out of bounds. Ed Hinkle worked open downfield against Kyle Jackson, but Jackson pushed him out, and it's 4th and 13 coming up as the Gator defense responding again with some heat.
And take a look at the replay right here now. The determination could be whether his body would come down in bounds.
Jackson's hit carried him out of bounds.
Yeah. So that's certainly an argument that Iowa could make. But right now, Iowa has some problems. Iowa has problems as far as picking up the blitzing schemes that Charlie Strong and Greg Madsen are throwing up against their offense. They can't pick anybody up.
This is about where Florida blocked the first punt, which went for a touchdown.
I'd come after it again.
Fenstermaker probably wary of that right now. Low snap, but he gets it off. A high spiral driving Jackson back to the 40. Jackson still on his feet and brought down at the 43 by Abdul Hodge. All over the field. Chris Leak getting rid of the headsets, coming back on the field. We'll be back after this.
Ted Ferguson, Bud Light Daredevil. Today for Bud Light, I'll attempt my most difficult stunt so far. I will stay 2 full minutes past 5 on a Friday.
Hey, Ted.
See you, Janice.
Hey, time!
Get him up. Ted, Ted, can you hear me?
I need a Bud Light.
Don't you give up on me, Ted.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Put that on my review.
Oh, yeah.
Chrysler Pacifica. Room, safety features, and comfort for 6.
You'll take care of my baby, right?
Or 12, depending on how you look at it.
Now qualified lessees can lease a Chrysler Pacifica touring model for just $259 a month.
When you're little, mistakes have cute names like oops, whoops, and boo-boo. Now, make a mistake on your taxes, and oops and whoops become fines and penalties. But when you come to H&R Block, you don't have to worry. We guarantee our work. If we make any mistakes, we'll pay the penalties. That way, your little oops never becomes a major uh-oh.
Guaranteed accurate tax preparation from H&R Block in your corner.
Dude. Warning, this movie contains nudity, profanity.
We'll go to the loony bin together. I don't give a...
And disturbing images.
Oh, that is so gnarly.
Patty Madison's Grandma's Boy. Rated R. Friday, only in theaters. Go to grandmasboymovie.com.
We try a lot of things before we succeed. That's why we keep trying. Maybe all the times you tried to quit smoking were just practice.
The 4-milligram Commit Lozenge actually doubles your chances of quitting.
The Commit Lozenge. Real help, real hope.
Welcome back, everybody, to Tampa, Florida, and a look at nearby Clearwater Beach right across Highway 60 West. No day at the beach so far for Iowa's offense, being shut out 7-0 with 1:54 to go in the first period. Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator, along with Charlie Strong. And right now, though, it's the offense for the Gators on the field. Starting off at their own 43-yard line, Chris Leak at the helm. He was recruited heavily by the Hawkeyes a couple of seasons ago, and Another flag down to the field.
It's number 3 on them.
Ball starts. Number 79 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Steve Rissler, the culprit.
Hey, as a head coach, you saw the frustration in Urban Meyer's face right there as a head coach. Okay, you can understand one and the first time your offense takes the field, but that's number 3. And that's costing you valuable yardage.
First and 15 at the 38.
And it limits the play calling a little bit.
First and 15 now, back at the 38-yard line for Florida. And that spread option, which has since been modified, he hands it off to Easton Moore, picking up 3 yards across the 40 to the 41. Getting back to Chris Leak, you know, his final choices came down to Iowa and Florida. And in the end, he followed his heart and decided on the SEC school, and following the lead of his brother, CJ, who played in the SEC as well as a quarterback and later a DB at Tennessee. His father, Curtis, former football player as well, drafted by the Green Bay Packers as a wide receiver. Second down and 12 for Florida. Leak showing that he can run. Down at the 48-yard line, about 5 yards short of the first down, picked up 7 as we approach 1 minute to go here in the first period. Florida leading 7-0.
Well, unfortunately for Iowa, they haven't gotten pressure yet when they just brought 4. They bring pressure with 4 that time, and they blow the opportunity for the sack. But that's what we talked about in the opening of the show, that if Chris Leak can run and keep the ball moving forward, it's going to make the passing game that much more efficient and dangerous for Florida.
Well, last time they moved it down the field all the way down to the 5-yard line, and then left some points on the field, missing the field goal. Third down and 5 here. Leak completes it to Dallas Baker at the 43-yard line, and he gets the Florida first down. Dallas Baker, a nice, tall, fast target at 6'3". The senior picks up 9.
And you're starting to see what this offense that Urban Meyer has brought to Florida is that they want to create levels. They had Chad Jackson running deep, Baker sitting in the intermediate route, and the running back sitting out in the flat, and it's just Chris Leak's dealer's choice. You run the deep guy off to hit the intermediate route, and a great read by Chris Leak.
Gives them a first down and 10 at the 43-yard line. Leak hands it off to Moore. And Moore, nice tackle on the play by Miguel Merritt. That's going to be the last play of the first period here in the 20th edition of the Outback Bowl. Big play of the game so far was the block and the recovery by McCollum. There's the block, and McCollum there to pick up the room service touchdown. We'll be back with the second quarter after this.
Penn State, Florida State, the FedEx Orange Bowl, Tuesday on ABC.
Before you go here, before you attempt this, and before you even think about going there, you need to go here. Cooper Discoverer Tires, built to take you just about anywhere. Cooper Tires, don't give up a thing.
Go to coopertire.com for more information and a dealer near you.
I was picking up our son from school. One of my neighbors saw the gardener hanging around the back door. We don't have a gardener, but we do have ADT. Its home security is so good it actually helps stop break-ins from happening.
A single ADT system can help protect your home and loved ones from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. So call now and save up to $200 on an ADT protection package.
ADT works. Just ask the bad guys.
ADT.
Remember, gentlemen, your favorite team plays 7 nights a week at Southern Exposure in Princeton, Bradley, and Barbersville. You'll find over 20 players on each Southern Exposure field, and the action is red hot. So when you're tired of watching the game on TV, remember where and when we play. 7 nights a week at Southern Exposure in Barbersville, Princeton, and Bradley.
So, why are you still using dial-up?
I only use the internet to check email.
High speed is more than I need.
So your computer doesn't need virus protection?
Well, yeah.
What about shopping, banking, or news?
I'm only into local stuff.
Like restaurants and movies? No problem. Get your local info faster with Adelphia.
And the price?
Adelphia high-speed internet is only $21.95 a month for 3 months. And you get a $50 Visa gift card.
Good deal.
What are you waiting for? Switch to Adelphia high-speed internet today.
Welcome back to the 2006 Outback Bowl. Happy New Year from the Florida Aquarium. Enjoy the game.
You know, Chris, I've always wanted to scuba dive, but never with any sharks around.
Yeah. That'd be a nice challenge.
And speaking of sharks, a couple of land sharks out in the field today. Some great talent when you look at the linebackers from Iowa, Hodge and Greenway, and offensively for Florida, Chris Leak and Chad Jackson. And right now it's Leak on the field. His offense, 2nd and 9. From Iowa's side of midfield at the 42. First play of the second period. And the pass is going to be ruled complete at the 30-yard line to Dallas Baker, who was working against Jovan Johnson. This is the first time that quarterback Chris Leak has had 3 very healthy receivers in Baker, Jackson, and Jamel Cornelius.
Well, you can see Baker right there does a great job of going down and getting it with his hands. But again, the philosophy of Florida's offense is they're running 3 to the strong side of the field, and they're working single receiver on the backside. It's a one-on-one matchup. And right now, Florida's wide receivers are handling Iowa's DBs.
First down and 10. We'll see how Norm Parker, the defensive coordinator, adjusts for the Hawkeyes. Leak comes back to the field side, and Baker with another catch. Upended immediately, the 26 by Jovan Johnson.
Great job of Jovan Johnson of avoiding a big fella coming with some in a nasty mood to take him out. He just comes underneath him, does a great job of making an open field tackle. But I'll tell you, if the offensive lineman out there would have got the block, DeGore, if he would have got his block, they might be dancing.
2nd down and 5 as Chris Leak continues to move his team down the field. Ball at the 25-yard line. Run the counter to Manson, and Manson is going to be stopped up at the 23, a couple of yards short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and about 2 coming up for Florida. He said that Florida said that they've changed their offense in such a way that Chris Leak has options of running 50% of the time now, as before it was about 75.
Well, they also bring in Billy Latsko, who's a true fullback, who under Urban Meyer's system, fullback's not really used, but Urban has adjusted the offense because Billy Latsko is a good football player. And right there was the old counter rope play where they used Latsko as a lead blocker.
3rd down and 2 coming up. See what they've done on 3rd down conversions. And Iowa's had trouble getting teams off the field on 3rd downs this year. Leak keeps it, and wide open, complete. Down to the 16-yard line. Tate Casey, the tight end, converts, and we go downstairs to Rob.
Chris Leak loves to immerse himself in football. His senior year in high school, spring vacation, right? Instead of going to Acapulco or the beach, he burned most of his savings to go to Gainesville to study game film and the game plan. He also made a comment saying, I am not going to have a girlfriend on campus until I earn a national championship ring. Well, the coaches are trying to kind of get that film rat out of him, make him a little more vocal, a little bit more of a leader. They make him tell jokes at the beginning of a lot of meetings, bring him over to the coach's house for dinner, and he brings his girlfriend now, Jonesy.
Yeah, he once said that he wouldn't have a girlfriend until he got a national championship ring. Maybe there's a ring in his future, too. Who knows? Hands it off, and Madison makes the stop on Keyston Moore. 12:39 to go in the first quarter, but you have to admire the work ethic of Chris Leak. And one of the turning points in this season, we talked about it after the loss to LSU. They had the bye week coming up. The coaching staff put in 18-hour days, as did Leak. They put everything offensively on the table. They whittled things down and went to Chris and say, what do you like? And Urban Meyer, you know, is to be given credit, you pointed out, for adjusting to his talent.
Absolutely. He has to do that, and he has to have his quarterback comfortable in the offense that they run.
He's comfortable now. He's completed his last 8 in a row, this time handing it off to Keyston Moore, who's brought down by Abdul Hodge. Hodge making the stop just shy of the 10 at the 11-yard line. Hodge and Greenway, a couple of players that are really going to be missed in Iowa City, especially by Norm Parker. He says that the two of them go everywhere together, and Boy, Greenway even has Hodge listening to some country music from time to time when they ride in Greenway's pickup truck.
Yeah. It's two polar opposites attract.
Shows you how football brings people and cultures together. 11th play of the Florida drive. Walker actually more in motion. Leak is going to keep it and run. Has the nice gain down to the 4-yard line. Leak with the first down. It'll be 1st and goal after picking up 7 on that play.
Well, it's just a simple quarterback draw. They empty the backfield out, and this is where Abdul Hodge is a little late on the read, and he's got to go up and attack because when you can hear whether it's a run or pass. If you hear a lot of noise up there, and that's usually those big offensive linemen grunting, it's running. You got to step up and fill. They empty the backfield for that particular reason to give you the deception of pass, and they run a quarterback draw.
And now, Chris, Deshaun Wynn in for his first play of the game at tailback. Here he is, and he got rocked. He got chopped down at the 7-yard line by Brian Madison, the son of the defensive coordinator of Florida. An interesting father-son combo.
It is, and Brian Madison did a great job of getting penetration from his end position right here. You see him come down, and nobody touches him, and he keeps his feet and his balance underneath him, is able to hit Deshaun Wynn nice and low. But if you take a look at the man, there's a good tackle, and penetration kills anything running up the middle.
2nd and goal coming up for Florida. And in motion in the handoff. Jackson brought down just inside the 5. Gained a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd and goal coming up for the Gators. Remember, on one of their previous sequences about 2 possessions ago, they left points on the field, missing the field goal. That's right. The drive stalled inside the 5. This drive, like the previous one I just mentioned, 13 plays, the 14th coming up.
Now, I look at this, Mark, and I say if they don't get it on 3rd down, maybe they go for it on 4th down. Why? Because their offense is pretty much dominating Iowa's defense, and their defense has been dominating Iowa's offense. You have nothing to lose. You're playing well.
They spread the field out and now empty it out on 3rd and goal. Leak with plenty of time. Incomplete. Tipped at the last moment. It appeared as if Greenway and Hodge were both there to make the play on the ball. And it's 4th and goal coming up for the Gators from the 4-yard line.
4th and goal. It's a great job of the defense staying and not covering dirt. See that? Look, everybody's kind of playing back and playing the quarterback draw. And Greenway does come in and get a hand on it. See Chad Jackson just keep working. It's a good job of Chad Greenway showing his athletic skill and vertical, getting up and knocking it down.
Chris Hetland missed one earlier today from 23 yards out. This one coming from 21. And he sneaks that one, and I mean sneaks it inside that left upright. You know, you're real popular in Iowa City when you grow up in South Dakota on a pig farm. Believe it. No bacon in his game. We'll be back after this.
Singular customers text City to 243 to download the Coming to Your City ringtone.
Tampa Bay. Free shots of adrenaline with every visit.
Welcome back.
Next up, it's the 2006 Dodge Charger.
It's the RT with a 340-horse Hemi, 18-inch alloys, muscular styling.
I particularly like this razor edging along here. Even the interior looks straight out of a custom shop.
75. No, it's actually around 26.
Nicely equipped from the factory. Charger SXT.
I'll take it.
Unleashed. Now well-qualified lessees can lease a Dodge Charger SXT with a V6 for just $349 a month.
I had a really good time tonight.
Me too.
Smell great longer, stay out later with new Red Zone After Hours body spray.
Have a nice day, ladies. Good morning, Mr. Fisher. Good morning, Mr. Ryan. Good morning, Miss Keaton. Good night, Mr. Morgan.
Smell great longer, stay out later with new Red Zone After Hours body spray.
Florida Gators coming into this ball game at 8-3 against the 7-4 Iowa Hawkeyes, and so far Florida dominating the clock in time of possession. And folks, that's a look at the Cooper Tires Bowl Challenge Cup, making the rounds during Capital One Bowl Week. And defending champs are the Mountain West Conference. That cup given out to the conference that requires the best winning percentage during the bowl season. Big Ten so far 0-3, so this is a pivotal and critical day for that conference. And the SEC so far is 1-1 coming into today. Both leagues with representatives today on the field, both with 3 games. Damian Sims on the kickoff return for the Hawkeyes. He's tripped up to the 22-yard line.
Damian Sims on the return.
Chris, what does Iowa have to do to keep possession of the ball a little bit here?
I mean, I'm just looking at the sidelines. I'm looking at the special teams market, and Iowa has to start matching Florida's intensity and energy. I mean, Florida's here playing like this game means something, where Iowa has to wake up, snap out of it, and turn it on. Because this is not the Iowa offense or defense that you and I are used to seeing throughout the Big Ten season.
Now, Damian Sims now in a tailback. They line up out of the eye. Bush, the fullback. Sims made a nice move to elude the first tackler, but some of that Florida speed making the stop at the 22. Let's tie in back our theme at the top of the show, Chris. We talked about the SEC speed, the strength of the Big Ten, perception versus reality. What's the reality so far?
Well, I think you're seeing Florida's strength outcoming more than speed, because they have not thrown the ball down the field, Mark. They haven't broken any long runs. What they're doing is they're pounding and methodically moving the ball down the field. See, Iowa, their problem is right now they can't handle the blitzes that Florida's throwing at them. They have no answer to the blitz package that Charlie Strong and Greg Madison have put together.
And it shows in Tate's numbers, just 3 of 7 so far. That pass is going to be caught at the 31-yard line as Calvin Davis makes his first reception of the game, working against Vernell Brown to pick up 9 yards. It'll be 3rd down and short coming up from the Hawkeyes.
There's the problem. You see, Vernell Brown is only 5'8", and that's the problem. If he has a weakness, it's just that, a weakness in his size.
3rd down and 1 to go for Iowa.
Comes a replay on the catch.
Time out on the field. The last play is being reviewed.
Big Ten replay system is in effect during the bowl season. Here's a look at our replay official out of Conference USA. Let's take one more look at this. Davis appeared to make the catch there, but
I think it's a catch. There's no inconclusive evidence there. Conclusive, whatever the word is.
Indisputable video evidence.
All that. I still say it's a catch. See this angle.
That video evidence, you can't overturn the decision on the field. From what we just saw, those 3 replays.
He's got the ball. 1, 2. See, it's a catch. His hands are underneath the ball. And to me, that's a catch. And with that evidence, as you said, Mark, that should not be overturned.
Conference USA officiating crew using the Big Ten replay system. Should it stand, it'll still be a 3rd and short for Iowa.
Let's take one more look at it. I have yet to see where he's dropped the football. To me, that's a catch. It's still a catch. It's still a catch. There's the ball. Now, you can see it kind of squirming out, but it looks like his arms are underneath the ball and his arms are between the ball and the ground, which would suggest that it was a proper call made by the officials.
Well, it's interesting, Chris, to see where this system has come. 2 years ago, it was just the Big Ten. This year, everybody, except for, I believe, the Western Athletic Conference, using some form or shape of replay. All in all, you'd have to say that it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and also the Sun Belt Conference did not use a replay system. But yeah, I think it's good for the game, Mark, and you know they've not gotten it all,
especially at this time of the year.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, we did some games this year where we thought some of the calls that were overturned shouldn't have been overturned, or we thought some, not a lot, but a few. It's not a perfect system. We're about to get our decision here, and I think it's a catch and it'll stand.
You look at where critics find some of their ammunition. They point to the amount of time that some of these replays take, but it's tough to argue with getting the right result regardless of the time frame.
After reviewing the play, the receiver had his hands on the ball prior to going to the ball, the ground, maintain control, the call on the field stand, it was a catch.
Much of the referees inside are saying, man, I told you so. We made the right call.
Sets up a 3rd and 1 for the Hawkeyes from their own 31-yard line. Sims is the deep back out of the eye.
Now, if I'm Iowa, what I do here is I try to hard count. That means go on 2 or 3. You see Florida, they got their ears pinned back.
Little play fake and open out of the backfield. Bush, the fullback. Hey, you got to throw the big fella a little bit of candy once in a while, and it's a 1st down for Iowa. Hey, the BCS continuing on ABC tomorrow night. Joe Paterno's Penn State Nittany Lions meet Bobby Bowden's Florida State Seminoles in the FedEx Orange Bowl at 8 Eastern. Then Wednesday, the 4th, Heisman Trophy winner Reggie Bush leads #1 USC against Vince Young and #2 Texas for the national championship in the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi at 8 Eastern. BCS Bowl games all available on ABC Sports.
Well, you almost get the feeling, kind of an eerie feeling if you're an SC fan. Everybody talks SC. Texas is going to give them a run.
They had success last year up in Pasadena, albeit a different opponent. And this is Sims once again in the ball game for Albert Young. He got about 4 on the play out to the 45-yard line. Damian Sims, the cousin of C.J. Jones, who's a former Iowa wide receiver. Jones, interestingly enough, is in attendance today, and 3 years ago in the Rose Bowl game, actually Orange Bowl game down in Miami, ran back the game's opening kickoff against the USC Trojans to give Iowa a short-lived 7-0 lead. 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Hawkeyes. Backs lining up out of the offset eye. Clinton Solomon has been conspicuous by his silence so far, but Tate looking his way, instead going underneath, and it's dropped by Damian Sims. He was wide open. Would have had himself another 1st down.
Well, what Iowa's starting to do is they're winning the matchup in their Florida's man-to-man defense with their tight end and linebackers. Where they're having a problem is that the corners for Florida are shutting down the wide receivers for Iowa, forcing Drew Tate to dump the ball. If they want to have any success, they've got to start beating coverage. They got to start beating man coverage on the outside.
3rd down and 6. Got to get to the 49 for the 1st down. And the pass is incomplete, and what a hit by Kyle Jackson. 4th down coming up for Iowa.
Well, so right here, it's a drop ball. You got to catch that ball knowing you're going to get hit. And there's a shot. Heard around Gainesville. What the kiss. Man, nice hit.
This attitude by this year's version of the Gators much different, and in stark contrast to the Gators of a couple of years ago who played Iowa in this Outback Bowl. Fenstermaker's punt comes down to the 10 to Chad Jackson. And Jackson is brought down right where he caught it at the 10-yard line off the 45-yard punt. Take one more look at that hit, and sometimes this is the type of hit when you take one of these, when you come to, your clothes are out of style. We'll be back after this.
When my husband got hurt and missed all that work, I didn't know how we were going to get by. Luckily, Aflac was there to pitch in. Aflac gave us the cash we needed to help pay for some of the stuff that health insurance doesn't.
18.
Like groceries, car maintenance, even gasoline. When things happen, it's nice to know Aflac's there for you.
The female duck swims near.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Virtually inaccessible, the remote Northern Territory is a fortress of alpine peaks. The terrain so brutal, its beauty has seldom been seen by human eyes. Only the most adventuresome have ever set foot in this desolate, yet picturesque landscape. With no roads, the Northern Territory remains.
This is much better than the movie.
The all-new 7-passenger Jeep Commander. It's your world. Take command.
So we're still going to paint our faces for the Tigers game, right? What's going on? What?
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yes, he did.
Come on, man, what you doing? The quarter pounder and double quarter pounder with cheese sandwiches. Pound one.
Did you lose your way home?
This is the team that protects their members with the most comprehensive set of online safety tools. Because with high speed, the intruders come at you faster.
Right, yeah, but what about spam?
Oh, it's blocked.
Spyware.
Zapped.
Pop-ups.
Shut down.
Identity thieves.
Foiled.
Updates.
Automatically.
Viruses.
Crushed.
Extra cost.
Never.
Too many questions?
No.
Really?
Really?
The all-new Safety and Security Center with the most comprehensive set of automatically updating online safety tools. Want a better internet? You belong at AOL.
ESPN College Football. The Outback Bowl is brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. The all-new 2006 Jeep Commander. The most capable 7-passenger 4x4. It's your world. Take command. And McDonald's. Look at historic Ybor City, Florida's oldest restaurant. The Columbia has been serving the famous sangria since 1905. Ybor City built on the backbone of the cigar-making industry many, many years ago. 10-0 with 7:03 to go in the first half. Gators with the ball from their own 10. Easton Moore in a tailback. Florida has dominated the game so far. Leak off the play fake. Throws it incomplete, intended for Chad Jackson. We talked about the matchup between Leak and the two linebackers of Iowa. One of them, Abdul Hodge, already piling up some impressive numbers. Playing off his block, just like number 36 would have done for Ohio State.
I'll tell you, Abdul Hodge has brought his game. Now he's back home in his home state and has a lot of people up here watching. And he's also auditioning, Mark. When you start getting to this point in the season, bowl season, your final game as a senior, you're a leader. I'll tell you, he's come and brought his A game today, and he's really played well. He's got to get his teammates to play up to his level to match Chris Leak in the Florida offense.
Already 9 tackles for Hodge today. Up to make the stop on that play, Javon Johnson and Marcus Pascal. The free safety. Third down coming up now for the Gator offense. Urban Meyer in his first year looking for his first bowl win as head coach of Florida. He has really changed the culture here. He started off as a GA, jobs at Ohio State, Illinois State, Colorado State, then at Notre Dame, head coach at Bowling Green, then successful year last year at Utah. Trying to get it done here at Florida, 3rd and 6. Leak with time, complete to Baker. Gets the first down at the 23-yard line, working against Antoine Allen.
Well, again, what they're doing, and Iowa just rushed 3. They dropped 8 right there, but they're working the short side of the field in single receiver coverage. And right now, the size is a matchup problem for the Iowa defensive backs. They can't handle the size, and Florida's receivers continue to win their one-on-one battles. And Chris Leak just exposes it, throws the ball, and they use their body to box out the DBs, and they get catches.
And Baker with 4 catches for 36 yards. On 1st and 10, Leak. In incomplete at the 34-yard line intended for Jamal Cornelius. Well, today's Aflac trivia question is, this is the 20th anniversary of the Outback Bowl. The first game played in 1986. However, there was no game played in 1987. What was the reason? Hey, a different type of question for us this year. 1987.
Another thing Florida's been able to do is play in front of the chains and getting in manageable third down situations. And they're getting Chris Leak on Florida to get him out and giving him the option to run the football. For this offense to be effective, the quarterback has to be able to run the ball.
On 2nd and 10, Leak does just that. Out near the 30-yard line, about 4 yards short of the first down, brought down by Hodge once again. Mitch King lending a helping hand. Abdul Hodge, all Big Ten this year out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Fort Anderson High School. Several times this year, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week. Led the team in stops in 2003 and 2004. Ron Parker and his teammates call him the Hitman with good reason. 3rd and 4 coming up. Moore in motion for Leak. And it's Moore in the flat. Nowhere to go and pushed out of bounds at the 29, short of the first down. Antoine Allen playing in front of his friends and family members here in Tampa. He's from the area.
That's a gigantic series right there for Iowa. They need to stop them just to get some confidence and to get their fans back into the game. Everybody knows Iowa travels great, and the whole Iowa nation, including players, have started slow. Maybe that series will renovate them and get them moving.
It's Javon Johnson back to return the punt, standing at his own 26. Eric Wilbur with his first punt of the afternoon. Johnson lets it bounce and fields it and is brought down immediately at the 26-yard line off the 48-yard punt. Tremaine McCullum making the tackle. He's got a touchdown already today. Drew Tate trying to get that Hawkeye offense in gear when we come back.
What did you do?
I had to fire the guy. You know what just hit me? We should go to Outback for the new Cairn citrus chicken. Marinated, seasoned, charred, grilled in a citrus glaze.
Mind if I join you? Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Red 21! Red! Prime rib! Seasoned, seared, slow roasted at Outback!
Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
I'm open! I'm open!
It's what you want, what you need, it's everything you ever dreamed. Blue sea, blue sky, spread your wings and fly. It's where you wanna go, it's where you wanna be. The Tampa Bay and everything.
St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Florida's beach.
So, why are you still using dial-up?
I only use the internet to check email. High speed is more than I need.
So your computer doesn't need virus protection?
Well, yeah.
What about shopping, banking, or news?
I'm only into local stuff.
Like restaurants and movies? No problem. Get your local info faster with Adelphia.
And the price?
Adelphia high-speed internet is only $21.95 a month for 3 months. And you get a $50 Visa gift card.
Good deal.
What are you waiting for? Switch to Adelphia high-speed internet today.
Remember, gentlemen, your favorite team plays 7 nights a week at Southern Exposure in Princeton, Bradley, and Barbersville. You'll find over 20 players on each Southern Exposure field, and the action is red hot. So when you're tired of watching the game on TV, remember where and when we play. 7 nights a week at Southern Exposure in Barbersville, Princeton, and Bradley.
Florida with a 10-0 lead with 4:52 to go, and this is the 20th edition of the Outback Bowl. I'm Mark Jones along with Chris Spielman and Rob Stone down to the field. 1st and 10 for Drew Tate and the Hawkeye offense. Albert Young is back in the ball game at tailback for Iowa. Grigsby in motion. Tate is looking to pass. Hinkle making the catch at the 36-yard line, working against Reggie Lewis. Now, back to our Aflac trivia question, and I'm talking about a stumper of all time.
Yes.
Why was there no Outback Bowl game played in 1987? Why? Semantics, folks. The game was played, the 1986 game was played December 23rd, 1986, and the 1987 game was played January 2nd, 1988. Okay, Michigan beat Alabama 28-24. Santa wouldn't have even gotten that. 1st and 10. Young between the tackles. Out to the 44-yard line. Albert Young, the leading rusher in the Big Ten this year. Hey, the 1986 Hall of Fame Bowl, Georgia, Boston College. Georgia rallying from a halftime deficit in the 4th quarter. 32 seconds to play. Sean Holleran connected with Kelvin Martin on a 5-yard touchdown pass to give them the 3-point win. 2nd down and 3 coming up for the Hawkeyes. Where is Clinton Solomon? They haven't been able to get the ball to him yet. Tate passes to Albert Young. Good receiver out of the backfield, out near midfield at the 50-yard line, working against Jarvis Herring. And for more, let's go down to Rob.
Young repaying Iowa for never giving up on him. Young verbally committed to Wisconsin, but Iowa heard they still may have a shot at him. They continue to pursue him. Obviously, they signed him finally. 2 years ago, they had high hopes for him, but the then true freshman broke a leg in preseason, took a red shirt. 2nd game of last season, went down with a season-ending knee injury. This year, he emerged from a deep pack of backs, Mark, to take hold of the #1 spot. He may be up for Heisman talk next year, guys.
Yeah, Rob, one of the great stories in the conference this year. Sims in for him, and Sims brought down right near midfield by Demetrius Webb. Getting back to Albert Young a little bit, Chris, ironically, you see how bowl success breeds more success. Albert Young was watching that Orange Bowl game, the FedEx Orange Bowl game, 3 years ago when C.J. Jones ran back the opening kickoff for a touchdown. He told me earlier this year it was at that moment that he said, you know what? I want to play at Iowa.
Well, people don't think that the bowl season or when you play rivals or conference rivals, it doesn't have an impact on recruiting. Right there is evidence that it's a major impact on recruiting, and you want to show well whatever bowl game you play in.
2nd and 9, the handoff. Down to the 48-yard line to Damian Sims and Reese Davis. I hope you didn't have the lampshade on your head on New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's to you.
Happy New Year, guys. Good to hear from you. Reese Davis along with Lou Holtz and Robert Smith coming up on the Dodge Halftime Report. Black Monday in the NFL. We'll visit with Chris Mortensen about all of the coaching changes. We'll look ahead to the Rose Bowl. Also some coaching changes on that Miami staff, Lou.
And I'll share with you at halftime the consequences to the coaches and the players when this happens.
Yeah, and I'll talk about the relationship between those assistants and those players.
Barry Coker, having to make several staff changes, will fill you in at halftime, Mark.
A very disappointing showing, Reese, by Miami in their bowl game. Underneath him, picked off at the 41-yard line. Brown, Vernell Brown, you talk about comebacks. Don't call it a comeback. Brown, broken leg and all, he's okay.
Mark, you talked about it. He was a big question mark coming in this game. He did well in one. He said, Vernell, you want to go? He says, I want to go. And Mark, he just went for 6.
60 yards, Chris, and all. The extra point good. And courtesy of 2 non-offensive touchdown scores, Florida leading 17-0 with under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Vernell Brown, they said he was 85% ready. He didn't know whether he'd be able to go, but he said, you know what, Coach? This is bowl season. There's no time like the present. Vernell Brown with a big play and Florida with the lead.
Yeah, I have a little attitude, but I've earned it. I've put in the hours. I practice every day. I've learned from the best, and I have no doubt that I can play at the highest level. Right now, I'm guessing I'll end up in either Chicago or New Orleans. Most good jazz musicians do.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us are going pro in something other than sports.
I want to be
a doctor, a writer,
an astronomer, a singer.
I want to be the best.
We see potential in every student.
At first, it was hard.
You can achieve.
I found support, understanding.
I found encouragement
and expertise.
We challenge students.
We prod for answers. We expect results.
When I finally got it, wow.
Wow. Whoa.
learning,
uncovering, exploring, finding that you can achieve anything.
I found my personal best at the University of Iowa.
Vernell Brown shocking the over 24,000 Iowa Hawkeye fans here with his interception return for a touchdown, 60 yards in all. Perhaps feeling the presence of a higher being there pointing skyward. And when you look at his comeback from the broken leg suffered a little less than 2 months ago against Vanderbilt, they didn't think he'd be able to play a couple of months ago, but here he is making a huge play for the defense.
Well, he has such a high pain tolerance, Mark. With his leg, we were told there was no way he has more of a chance of hurting his leg structurally, but it was just a tolerance of pain. And when you pick one in a bowl game and you're running toward the end zone, you're feeling nothing, man. You're putting nothing on nothing and just going for the touchdown. It was awesome to see.
Damian Sims on the kickoff return, feels it at the 15. Iowa in desperate need of a big play, and Sims ready to respond in kind. Sims runned out of bounds at the 39-yard line, but back to Vernell Brown. This was the scene a couple of months ago on the punt return against Vanderbilt at the Swamp. Tackled a seemingly harmless play. You've seen it a million times before, but Brown writhing in pain.
Yeah, this is what I love, though. Look at that. There's no trainers. No, he's getting himself off the field. And you see Drew Tate drifted one here. It was cover 2. Vernell Brown does a great job of keeping focused on the tip ball by Clinton Solomon. And he put a nice little move on Drew Tate, the only defender that could have kept him from scoring. He takes it into the end zone. Iowa has to respond to not get blown out of this football game.
Down 17-0. Tate completes it out of the backfield to Champ Davis. And Davis is brought down about 2 yards short of the first down. For more on Vernell Brown, down to Rob.
Urban Meyer calls Brown the face of Florida football. He's what they want to recruit and the kind of person they want to be around. His presence so important to Meyer that they traveled Brown when he was injured on the road game, something that is usually against policy. And, you know, fighting adversity on and off the field, nothing new for this guy. You know, 5'8", 165. His size has always been a question. In Pop Warner football, guys, this is classic. He would put sand in his shoes and weights in a girdle so he could make minimum weight to get out on the field.
Yeah, really, like you said, the face and symbolic of the change in attitude that has really transformed at Florida under Urban Meyer. You know, speaking with Brown a little bit earlier, and he was saying that it's such a situation now under head coach Meyer that we don't want to make any mistakes either on, but more importantly off the football field, really symbolizing the change in culture here over the last year.
Well, first of all, I want to say what a compliment is to Vernell Brown that Urban Meyer chooses to take him on the road trips. That's something that nobody does. Mark, he's selling something, and these players have not gotten used to it. If they don't get used to it, he's going to run them out. He did the same thing when he went to Bowling Green. He did the same thing when he went to Utah, and he'll do the same thing here in Florida. He has a system. He believes in his system. It's been successful, and not one player is ever going to change that. So either you buy in or find somewhere else to play.
Vernell Brown admittedly didn't have the best of work habits last year, but under Coach Urban Meyer, he has really gotten into a nice groove off the field and on the field. And, well, you know what they say about payback. As Florida right now leading 17-0.
And regardless of who the player is, it's just nice to see the kid that has just a senior that had a tough injury come back and make a big play.
2nd and 2 for Iowa. Under heat. Young makes the catch, steps out of bounds right near that first down marker at the 29-yard line, being run down by Brandon Silence. Take a look at our stat track, and Florida dominating on the ground and in total yardage as well. And time of possession now evening out a little bit more, but recently the turnover is the big story. The interception return off the pick by Vernell Brown, and before that, the touchdown scored by Florida came on a blocked punt. 1st and 10 after the catch by Albert Young.
Again, Florida's playing man-to-man and bringing pressure. You got to win your matchups.
Tate looking for the hot receiver, high and incomplete, intended for Clinton Solomon, who still does not have a catch today. He was working against Avery Atkins that time.
That's one that Clinton normally can catch, but Drew Tate has been high on a couple footballs, and a lot of time that's the adrenaline. And anytime he feels himself getting too emotional or too excited, he's got to remind himself to bring it down, because he had Clinton Solomon on the slant. He sailed it on him.
Second down and 10 coming up. This time Solomon lining up, split to the top of your screen. And Iowa calls a timeout. Drew Tate, the son of a coach, played for his coach in high school, his dad in high school, Dick Olin. January 7th, the NFL playoffs kick off with Wild Card Saturday on ABC. Double dip coverage beginning at 3 Eastern. Game 1 is at 4:30 Eastern between Washington and Tampa Bay. Game 2 is at 8 Eastern between Jacksonville and New England. ABC Sports, the home of Super Bowl 40. What about New England? Don't undersell the champs.
Well, it's funny how they got going with Corey Dillon. You run the ball, you got a chance.
Key plays so far in the game.
Cornelius getting hands down off the foot.
Jermaine McCullum with the fumble recovery off the bluff. And then a few moments ago, Vernell Brown, the interception, and a nice move right there on Drew Tate, who was left just grasping at air.
See, and the thing about Vernell, you got to have a high pain tolerance. Right there, I didn't notice any giddy up in his giddy up. He wasn't limping at all. His giddy up looked fine to me. Well, he might be sore after the game, but I tell you, I just love to see kids that are tough, that are playing with a broken leg. He broke it in November, and he's out here first part of January playing.
Being inspired by his head coach, Urban Meyer. Second down and 10 coming up for Iowa. Four receivers out. Underneath to Chandler, the tight end, who's pushed out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Avery Atkins pushed him out, a 9-yard pickup for Iowa with 1:14 to go in the first half. They need to put some kind of semblance of points on the board here before the end of the break.
Yeah, for them, they need to score touchdowns. And right there, they're 39-41 in the red zone, 24 TDs to 15 field goals. But the matchup problems that the DBs on the corners are dominating Iowa's receivers. Hinkle got open a couple times. So what Iowa's done is they're going to Chandler and the backside of the backfield, which Florida's having a hard time matching up with those two.
3rd and 1 for the Hawkeyes. Tate on a quick 3-step drop. It's caught. Touchdown, Solomon. Well, you heard from him now.
Big time throw. He's thrown to the pylon. He's not even looking where Solomon is. He has trust in his teammates. They're running on a fade, and he's out up against D. Webb, the defensive back. And right there is the perfect throw to the pylon, and having the confidence to lay it in there with the free safety coming over the top and Kyle Jackson. There's a great throw, nice route.
Quentin Solomon playing his last game as an Iowa Hawkeye with his 7th touchdown catch this season. The extra point good, and Florida's lead with 1:10 to go in the first half whittled to 10 points.
This is confidence, Mark, and trust in your teammate. Webb actually had pretty good coverage, but Drew Tate puts it to the outside, only where Solomon can get him, and nice focus and concentration. And something you don't see from a lot of receivers is field awareness, hitting the pylon, which is part of the field. As soon as he hits the pylon, touchdown. Bam, there's his foot, touchdown, 1 foot in. Great throw to throw it to the outside, because you see Kyle Jackson, if that ball's floated inside at all, Kyle Jackson could either knock it out or knock Solomon out. Big play. They needed a play not only to score, but they needed a play to get him, Clinton Solomon, involved in the football game.
Yeah, teams have really been using a lot of bracket coverage, locking in on him much more this season, especially towards the end of the year. But Solomon finding a way on the pass from Drew Tate that time with his 14th career touchdown. For Tate, it was the 41st career touchdown pass for him.
A vital touchdown for Iowa, because they were on the verge of getting blown out of this football game. And it was all set up by Sims in the kickoff return. Gave them some field position to work with.
Hanson and Gavin Dickey back now to receive the kickoff. This one deep in the end zone, Marcus Manson. There's a catch, and well, today's aerial shots from the Outback Bowl, Bloomin' Onion 1. This is what it looked like from high above. Solomon got that foot down. Can we get a ride? Can we get a ride up there, Chris? Would you?
I ain't going up there. There's no way. Unless they're free of some blooming onions or something.
Blue Tate, as I mentioned, played for his father, Dick Olin, in high school. A-Town, Texas, brought his team a little bit closer. We'll see what Chris Leak can do with 1:10 to go if he can get them at least into field goal range. Completes the pass at the 35-yard line to Chad Jackson, laid it in between two defenders to pick up 15 yards.
There's the size of Chad Jackson going up against the smaller Pascal. Pascal came in over the top, but the size of Johnson just too much, and he just wins the vertical contest.
1st and 10. Florida working in a rush, and it's incomplete. Intended for Dallas Baker that time at the 47-yard line. Stops the clock with 56 seconds to go in the first half.
You know, I like the aggressiveness of Urban Meyer and trying to score points at the end of the half. They have 2 timeouts left. A lot of times we see teams that will sit on the ball and be content of going into the locker room with a 10-point lead.
Meyer with a couple of timeouts remaining, Chris.
They're coming aggressive. They've come aggressive today. They're playing with a lot of high energy. And this is confidence in your quarterback and your system to try to move the football with a little time left.
We're going to hear from Urban Meyer with Rob at halftime. In just a few moments, 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Gators. 4 receivers out on this play. Leak out of bounds at the 45-yard line. The closest receiver from Florida was Jamal Cornelius. Javon Johnson almost made a play on the ball. Stops the clock with 51 seconds to go in the half. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, to me, that's a misread by Leak. Javon Johnson's over top the defensive back, and Chris throws the throw behind. Problem is, there was nobody to throw behind because Cornelius kept going down the field.
2 timeouts remaining for both teams. This Florida team, much more disciplined than a couple of seasons ago. They were incident-free coming into bowl week. In contrast to 2 years ago, they had some disciplinary issues. Results showing on the field so far for the Gators. 3rd and 10. Leak dumps it off underneath, but short of the first down. Good timeout on Toots.
If I'm Iowa, I take the timeout right now. You have time. You see Kirk Ferentz down there, and I'll tell you what he did. He went right to the side judge on the field and hit him with a timeout as soon as the ball was blown dead.
Well, Kyle Schlicker, the kicker for Iowa, has a long of 52 this year, so perhaps Hawkeyes with hopes of getting into field goal range after this punt.
They have the wind advantage with him too, Mark, so he can really boot it with that wind.
Well, this afternoon, the BCS kicks off when A.J. Hawk, Ohio State, take on Brady Quinn, Notre Dame in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl at 4:30 Eastern on ABC. Then at 8, DJ Shockley and Georgia face the Big East champs, West Virginia, in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. BCS Bowl games all available on ABC Sports.
Well, the point I want to make is Charlie Weiss has been great for Notre Dame. But the point I'm making, people kind of look at me like I have 3 heads, more than normal, that I think Brady Quinn has been as good for Charlie Weiss as Charlie Weiss has been good for Brady Quinn. It's so nice to go into the job and have a veteran quarterback like Brady Quinn there, and a smart quarterback can pick up on Charlie Weiss's system, which I think is why Charlie is ahead of schedule because of Brady Quinn.
Certainly is so far. 4th and 3 coming.
A nice challenge against Ohio State's defense.
Javon Johnson standing at his own 20-yard line. Wilbur punting from his 30. Under heat. They came after him that time. He goes down, but there's a late flag that's thrown. Marcus Schnoor came in to pressure the punter that time, Wilbur. And Wilbur went down in a pile.
Well, that was late, Mark. He was sitting there. We were watching him from here. He's looking. Then he finally threw the flag.
I mean, he really thought about it before he threw it. Not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Right into the kicker. Number 23 on the defense. Slid to the kicker's flatland. 5-yard throw. First down.
So Florida will hang on to the ball.
See, Schnoor comes in here. He took a bad angle. And I don't know if he ran into him or if the kicker's plant leg brought him into Schnoor. I guess you could call that a little ticky-tack for my taste.
That angle, it didn't appear as if they made direct contact. It looked like Wilbur actually landed on Schnoor. Leak under heat. They dialed up some pressure, but Leak escapes. And finally, and there's a flag call.
Wow.
Ken Iwebama made the hit on Leak as he was going down, seemingly.
Gotta let him play.
Kirk Ferentz isn't usually the animated type, but he looked to be here with good reason.
Yeah, I mean, Iwebama is just trying to play football. It's not a cheap shot. And you see, this has hurt Iowa. It hurt Iowa early in the year with Northwestern that kept some drives alive.
2 consecutive penalties against the Hawkeyes.
Personal foul.
Come on.
Helmet on the contact on the quarterback.
Let's see if he called helmet. He didn't hit him with his helmet. He hit him with his arm.
First down.
Let's take a look at this, Mark. He's called helmet-to-helmet contact. Watch his left arm hits him in the head, not his helmet. I mean, or either that or that's it. Put flags on everybody. That's it. No more tackling.
1st and 10. I think I know how you feel.
Unbelievable.
1st and 10. That moves Florida a little bit closer. Underneath. Pass complete to Baker at the 32-yard line. Working against Greenway and Hodge. With 11 seconds to go, Florida.
2 timeouts.
Timeout remaining. Chris Hetland has a long this year of 47.
Mark, football is a dynamic environment, and contact happens. If you're going to call helmet-to-helmet hit, you better darn make sure that the helmet was the one that hit first. As shown by the replay from our excellent camera crew, the left arm of Iwebama came in and tackled Chris Leak. Now, if you can't tackle in football anymore, I don't know what you're going to do.
But if anything, it might have been a late hit if they were going to call anything.
Yeah, he's still up. I mean, that's too close to call late hit. You can see that his helmet never hit him. You can see it from up top. His arm hits him. His helmet goes over the top of him. And right here, he can't wait to reach into the back pocket.
You can understand the concept of protecting quarterbacks, but still you have to let players play.
Yeah, I mean, you're having a big man run a long way with one intent and purpose in mind is to hit the quarterback as hard as he can. Now, if it was helmet to helmet, for whatever reason they made that rule a couple years ago, I don't agree with it, but they made it. Fine, call the penalty. But what upsets me most was it wasn't helmet to helmet. And it could change this game drastically if Florida was able to get points off the board because of the field position created by the 15-yard penalty.
Speaking of field position, the ball right now spotted at the 31-yard line. Chris, with 13 seconds to go, 2nd and 5, down in distance, not that much of a factor in contrast to the clock. What do you do here if you're Florida? Do you take a shot? Do you take 2 shots?
Well, I think you have opportunity to run 2 plays. Now, it depends on how long your first play takes. If it's a 7 or 6 second play, then obviously I bring in the field goal team. And I'm not trying to score a touchdown here. I'm trying to make it an easier kick for my field goal kicker. And again, he's kicking into the wind. And he's already missed one from short, so you don't know where Netland's confidence level is right now. Oh, man.
Let's look at the wind. Yeah. It is blowing into the face of Chris Hetland, the place kicker. It will be should he get onto the field. Just a 10-point game, and there's a look at Kenny Iwebama. Led the team in sacks this year, and he's probably ruminating what exactly happened on that last penalty that was called against him.
Yeah, not only that, he's thinking about it
a couple times. Kirk Ferentz up in the kitchen of the referees right now, and why not? And Moore in motion to the top of your screen for Florida. Leak working the sideline. It's complete at the 25 to Kenneth Tuke. Stops the clock with 7 seconds to go. He got the first down working against Edmund Miles.
Now you got to make sure here now, because that took 6 seconds. You don't want to cut it too close if you're the Florida offense. So you want to run a quick play, whether it's a quick 3-step drop, and make sure you call timeout. And if you're the receiver, if you catch the ball, get down, call timeout to stop the clock.
Florida with 1 timeout remaining.
You've got to get rid of the football in a hurry, Mark.
1st and 10. They work out of the shotgun. It's going to go into the end zone. Baker. Wow. Touchdown with glue on his hands.
Wow.
threw a rope to Dallas Baker. And it's 6 points.
Yeah, that's what 6'3" against 5'9" will get you to. That's a great job of Baker of showing great hip turn and getting up and getting the football. There's a review. We got a review coming.
And now, Iowa even more thinking about that penalty against Kenny Webber.
The phantom penalty. Penalty for tackling.
Helmet-to-helmet call. Help keep things alive and move the ball downfield for Urban Meyer's Florida Gators.
Yeah, in fairness to Webema, it was called helmet-to-helmet, but it wasn't helmet. He's playing football. He tackled the guy.
Which is the idea of things, right?
Yes. Theoretically.
Just so we keep it straight.
Let's take a look at the review. We'll have a couple different looks to show you.
Dallas Baker, good to see him back healthy after missing a couple of games earlier this year. There's a look at the catch.
Oh, man, he elevated, too. That's touchdown. That shouldn't take long. It's a great throw by Chris Leak of what I talk about, throwing guys open, putting it on the outside shoulder, understanding that you have 6'3", and he's a long 6'3".
He held on to it.
Okay, there's the catch. 1 foot down. Possession of the football. Again, 6'3". What a plus.
It helps, yeah. And, you know, his teammates call him Foots because of those size 15s that he wears. It's a good thing he wasn't a 16, Chris. It might have been out of bounds.
Oh, yeah, the 15s. We got the 15s in. If it was a fat 15, he's in trouble. He's got a skinny 15, which was able to stay in.
He's working against Javon Johnson there on the corner.
Regardless of what happens, Iowa's got to go into the locker room and decide whether they want to be here and play this football game, Mark.
Well, they seemingly had some of the momentum in their favor after that touchdown catch by Clinton Solomon on a nice pass from Drew Tate. So as Tate makes a great throw, Leak comes back and makes an equally adept throw into the end zone to Baker for an apparent score right now.
I love quarterbacks like these two guys that aren't the tallest in stature, but they throw the spots and they throw guys open and they let their receivers make the plays. He knew where to throw that football, high and outside, and he trusted Dallas Baker to go up and get it, and he did.
Leak and Tate both recruited feverishly by Iowa. Here's the call.
The receiver had possession of the ball while in the air. Came down his left foot in bounds prior to his right foot going down out of bounds. The play on the field stands. Touchdown.
Dallas Baker, 6 catches today, a total of 65 yards to go along with that touchdown reception. With 1 second to go in the half. Hetland with the extra point. And Florida leads 24-7. Dallas Baker, the nephew of Wes Chandler, former NFL player and former Gator. Got that left foot in.
Tell me about college football and the emotion, man. There's nothing like it. I love the NFL. The college football is pure. Think he's not happy? Well, they've been through the ringer. He and Urban have been through the ringer a little bit. They're 8-3. They still went through the ringer down in Gainesville.
People were very critical of Chris Leak, but some tend to overlook the fact that, Bubba Caldwell and Andre Caldwell was lost for the season against Tennessee because of an injury. Dallas Baker has been nicked up this year. He's missed 2 games because of injuries. Jackson has also been in and out of the lineup with various injuries. This is the first time in a while that Chris Leak has had a somewhat full complement of wide receivers to help round out that passing game.
Yeah,
there's Baker coming off the field.
Florida, this has nothing to do with this game, but you start looking at this football team. Next year, they are loaded. I mean, you have Chris Leak coming back for his senior year. Theoretically speaking, I haven't heard otherwise. And some people on defense. Their defense has played extremely well this year. They're just setting the tone for next year.
And Hetland squibs it down to the 40. That's going to be the end of the first half of play. A couple of big plays by the Gators. A block punt for a touchdown. And then Vernell Brown stymieing the hopes of the Hawkeye Nation with an interception for a touchdown 60 yards back the other way. Chris Leak with a fantastic throw a few moments ago to give Florida a 24-7 lead at the break. Trying to turn the tables on Iowa. Remember, it was 37-17 last time these two teams met in favor of the Hawkeyes. Let's go downstairs to Rob.
Coach, what was the play thought process on that last touchdown?
We wanted to, if we got good field position, we were going to take a shot. You know, Chris is throwing the ball pretty good. Receivers are healthy, so we're playing. So we just, if we didn't get good field position, we would have ran out the clock. Personally, on that Vernell Brown interception touchdown, what did that mean to you? Oh, that meant that's the Gator Nation ought to be appreciative of that. That's not a more deserving young man. Coach, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Rob. It's 24-7 at the half. Right now, we're going to throw it back to Reese, Lou Holtz, and Robert Smith for the Dodge halftime report. Playing to come from Tampa. Right now, back to the studio.
All right, Mark, glad to have you on with the Dodge halftime report. And Florida getting quite a boost from a couple of calls late, but certainly Iowa. Lou, you've talked about the importance in a bowl game of grabbing momentum late, but you go back and look, the blocked punt, the interception for a touchdown, the penalty. Even if you didn't like the call, they put themselves in position to get a couple of penalties. The penalty for tackling, as Spielman called it, and also the running into the kicker. You know, Iowa's made those mistakes late.
You know what's really amazing? You sit here and you watch this game, and if you took 4 plays out of this football game and looked at the rest of you, say, boy, there's 2 evenly matched teams, because there really wasn't any difference between, except as he mentioned, for the block punt, for the play just before the half, for a penalty here or there. But what is really surprising is I was playing pretty good on defense. But during the course of the season, Florida gave up 32 sacks. That's 32 or something like that. But
the three first.
They have not given up a sack this half, and so that's been impressive.
Yeah, you know, I think what's interesting as well is Iowa, you know, they started off a little bit slower than people thought that they would this year. They finished out strong with wins over Wisconsin and Minnesota. But, you know, you never know in a bowl game. And, you know, it's something I heard you say earlier this year, Coach, that you never know what team you're going to have. And you get different, you get a different team game in, and, you know, from week to week. And to have all this time in between the end of the season, you lose a little bit of momentum. But they were picking up a little bit there in the first half.
And we'll see what kind of teams we get in the second half. One of the other themes from bowl season so far, second half comebacks, and it's happened against SEC team with South Carolina earlier. We'll see if Iowa can mount a comeback against Florida in the second half. Well, if you like job security, hope you're not an NFL head coach. A lot of those guys going down, pink slips being handed out right and left, and some more casualties as far as it pertains to NFL coaches losing their jobs. Mike Martz, who missed most of the season with a heart ailment this year for the St. Louis Rams, fired as a head coach. He was 2-3 before developing the heart ailment. The team finished 6-10. They're going to make a change in St. Louis. Dom Capers of the Houston Texans, they struggled for most of the season, 2-14. Dom Capers just announced a few moments ago that Capers is out as the head coach of the Texans. And in Green Bay, Mike Sherman has also been fired after a 4-12 season. Brett Favre throwing his first touchdown pass in 5 games in the finale, but they're going to make a change in Green Bay as Mike Sherman fired after 6 seasons as the Packers head coach. Chris Mortensen joining us now. Mort always has his finger on the pulse of such things. Mort, let's start with Mike Sherman. What type of indication does this give us as to Brett Favre's future in Green Bay?
Well, you know, Brett Favre has gone on record saying that he would lean heavily perhaps to coming back if Mike Sherman were retained as coach. But that happened 6 weeks. That happened before the ugly finish of the Packers season, and it was an ugly finish for Brett. And yesterday in the locker room, even though he didn't speak to the media, Brett spoke to his teammates. I was told he cried like a baby, and even though he didn't say farewell, it sounded a lot like farewell, Reese.
All right, Mort, we'll certainly wait and see what Favre decides to do. The game we're watching, Iowa and Florida. Iowa's Kirk Ferentz has been a hot coaching commodity. He's passed on a lot of opportunities in both college and the pros over the last few years. But one of his children, his son Brian, finishing up at the University of Iowa there. What about Kirk Ferentz as a potential NFL head coach?
Reese, this is the first time we're hearing indicators that Ferentz will listen to opportunities out there in the NFL. So I think after Iowa finishes this bowl game, we'll know in the next 2 or 3 days whether or not that's serious. I've heard his name linked to the Green Bay job. He certainly would be at the top of a lot of coaching lists. You know, the Packers, they could look at a Brad Childress of the Eagles, and if a Jim Haslett pops loose out of New Orleans. But Kirk Ferentz, I think, is going to be the hot candidate.
All right, you get the feeling that we're not done firing coaches. Who's next to go in the NFL?
Well, we are waiting for word on Jim Haslett and the Saints. He's got a year left. It's been a tough year. Like I said, he'll be a pretty good commodity if he breaks loose. Oakland and Norv Turner were waiting here. And really curious about Herm Edwards with the Jets. Has 2 years left on his contract, but there's a lot of smoke. Where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And then in Dallas, certainly we are waiting to hear whether Bill Parcells will retire or not.
All right, and we are waiting on that. More, a lot of upheaval in the offseason in the NFL. Thanks a lot.
All right, Reese, thank you.
All right, Chris Mortensen joining us in the Cotton Bowl. Great offense against great defense. Guess who made the first big offensive play between Alabama and Texas Tech? And we'll look ahead to the Rose Bowl as we close in, get ever closer to the showdown for the national championship.
Where are you from?
California.
You are so far from home.
Quentin Tarantino presents Eli Roth's Hostel. Rated R. In theaters everywhere Friday.
There's a certain team in Senior Division B, the Exiles. They're young, fast, and undefeated. On Sunday, they will lose because we've taped all their plays. We've downloaded all their games. We've even trained with obscure Brazilian drill software. It's our heads versus their feet. And on Sunday, we'll win. I guarantee you.
Start something victorious. Start anything you like with a world of software and devices that run on Windows.
You think video games are incredible now. With a setup like this, you can make them really come alive.
Randy Mayer was a born saver.
Want to get a fudge bar? I'm saving for retirement. Can I just buy one Twinkie?
But today, every time Randy uses one from American Express, we make a deposit to a high-yield savings account.
Small popcorn.
Wait, you know what? Make that a medium.
Are you sure? Would you like a soda with that?
No.
Now, when Randy spends, he saves. Introducing one from American Express.
Mike Messina. Tim Wakefield. Randy Johnson. Mark Hurley. Tim Hudson. Roger Clemens.
It's impressive, very impressive. Ow! Watch out for the rocket.
Ow!
What makes them different makes them great. Mike and Mike in the morning on ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to the Dodge Halftime Report.
Florida taking advantage of some mistakes from Iowa late in the first half to stretch that lead to 24-7. Gators have the lead in the Outback Bowl over the Hawkeyes. Another SEC team, Alabama and Texas Tech in the Cotton Bowl. This is great offense against great defense, except what about the other side when Alabama has the ball? Brody Coyle, Keith Brown, gone, 76 yards.
Great execution, great blocking up front. That's what happens when you have a month break.
And that's the only touchdown of the first half. Alabama has more passing yards, more total offense than Texas Tech. Each team blocked the other one's field goal attempt in the final 70 seconds of the first half, 7-3 at halftime in Dallas. And, of course, Wednesday night for the national championship, Texas and USC. Chatting with Vince Young earlier in the week, Vince said when they went to Disneyland that he didn't want to get on that Tower of Terror ride anymore. There's some things he ought to stay away from. Maybe the Trojans will try to stay away from Vince Young. He's a 6'5" running, passing Tower of Terror for any opposing defense. Chris Fowler and the guys getting set for the national championship game just a couple of days away.
We got more bounce in California than all y'all combined. We got more bounce in California. We like to party all the time. We got more bounce in California. Where the hustlers all reside. We got more bounce in California.
At the Rose Bowl today, chilly, windy, sloppy, rainy, soggy, nasty. But it should be a lot better Wednesday night when USC and Texas collide for the national championship. No, it was a year ago after he shredded Michigan's defense in the Rose Bowl that Vince Young stood on that field in there and made a bold post-game prediction. He said, "We'll be back," meaning this year's championship game. And he, of course, made that happen, not just with his legs and his improved passing, but also with his confidence. It's what gives Texas a great chance to beat USC and snap that 34-game winning streak. It's all part of the Vince vibe.
What is the Vince vibe?
It's the vibe that is getting everybody going.
It's confidence. It's fun.
Here he goes again!
There's just something about him. You're just drawn to him.
Vince Young, a magic man yet again!
Whatever it takes, you're going to get the job done.
The bigger the game, the better he plays.
Touchdown, Texas!
He's a leader. He's humble.
Unbelievable!
He's crazy.
Awesome.
He's all the above.
Amazing. I mean, you can't say enough about him.
I'd say invincible, because that's what he's become.
Liam Kirk alongside. He wasn't laughing or dancing after the Heisman ceremony. He was fueled by that Reggie Bush landslide. And he's dangerous when he's motivated.
And absolutely, I was one of the crazy guys that voted for him for the Heisman. You know, the reason why I did it, because he leads the Texas offense. It's #1 in the nation in scoring. He scores over 50 points a game, and he does it almost all by himself. Remember one thing that's very important. The last time he played in the stadium, he had 372 yards of total offense against Michigan. He ran for 4 touchdowns, passed for 1 touchdown, and the Michigan coach, Lloyd Carr, said this after the game: Vince Young is the finest athlete I've ever been on the field with. And that comes from a Michigan coach that's seen a lot of great players. That is a tremendous compliment for Vince Young.
It sure is, and he's only gotten better since that game.
Oh.
And it's the versatility, obviously. I mean, he now has the ability to hurt you running and throwing, as we've seen throughout this year. So if you're USC, the #1 factor is you have to stop some of his friends. You have to stop the running, not only of Vince Young, but you also have to stop the running of the running backs. If you can get Vince Young into obvious passing situations, now it puts you as a defense in a much better position if they're in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, because that's where Pete Carroll has his strength. The ability to show multiple looks and blitz from a variety of places. And I promise you, one thing we've seen from Pete Carroll in the last 3 BCS games is he will blitz from areas that he has not shown in the last 11 games. How does Vince Young deal with that? How does Greg Davis as a play caller deal with that? Will be a very important factor in the outcome of this game.
Yeah, but USC is going to have to deal with Vince's very large friends up front.
Yes.
Justin Blaylock, Jonathan Scott, and that very good Texas offensive line. They like the matchup against USC's front.
Gotta confuse
They like it a lot.
That's right.
Reese, who says it never rains in Southern California? I mean, it is a nasty day for Media Day, but again, a better forecast for Wednesday. Back to you.
Now the weather's saying traditional Pasadena-style weather for Wednesday night. Texas and USC for the national championship on ABC and available on ABC High Definition. If you listen to the radio, you can hear it on ESPN Radio as well. Still to come here on the Dodge Halftime Report. The Hurricanes losing Devin Hester. He's made his decision to go pro, and he is not the only one on their way out of Miami. A stunning turn of events. South Florida coming up.
This halftime report is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Dude, what do you got in that thing? I got an amp, guitar, surfboard, ladder, and 12 2x4s.
Velocity meets versatility. The all-new Hemi-powered Dodge Magnum. Open it up from either end. Now through January 3rd, get $1,000 year-end bonus cash and grab Dodge Magnum for under $23 grand.
For endless design possibilities and innovative brands like GE, Maytag, and LG, visit the Appliance Showroom today at the Home Depot. Discover a beautiful, stylish selection, associates who can help you choose what's right for you, and as always, guaranteed low prices. Right now, get up to a $150 Home Depot gift card by mail-in rebate when you buy select major appliances.
At the Home Depot, you can do it. We can help.
When you're a star like me, things are taken care of. You see? A second bag. Second.
Even my independent insurance agent spoils me.
Ryan, after comparing a number of companies, I recommend Drive Insurance from Progressive. You'll get a policy customized just for you.
How does the other half live?
Actually, I do it for everyone.
To find an agent who'll take care of you, go to driveinsurance.com.
You're watching the Dodge Halftime Report.
Just days after getting humiliated and obliterated in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl by LSU, Miami head coach Larry Coker has cleaned house on his coaching staff. At least four coaches have been dismissed from the Hurricane staff, including offensive coordinator Dan Werner, linebackers coach Vernon Hargraves, running backs coach Don Soldinger, and perhaps most surprising of all, assistant head coach and offensive line coach Art Keogh, who's been part of the Hurricane family for all of their national championship run, came to Miami as a player under Howard Schnellenberger. So, Lou, obviously Coker is trying to address some deficiencies that he feels are in the program. Do you feel that this is the right way to try to re-energize the Miami program?
Well, I think after you lose a bowl game like that, you have to sit back and you have to analyze it. And you have to start with your coaches. And you have to start with yourself, number one. He felt there had to be some changes made. That's not easy to do. But by the same token, when you give coaches authority, you also must give them responsibility. Yes, I'm surprised to let some coaches go that have been there that long. But I also feel this. Let's take the offensive line, for example. They've had problems this year. Kehoe has done a beautiful job since going back to Schnellenberger's day. But the position coach has final say on all recruiting personnel. For example, the offensive line coach is going to have final say on who they're going to hire as a recruit as the offensive line coach as well as a coordinator. So you have to have some responsibility on that. Now, as a player, the changes too.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it really does. Those assistants are so important, particularly those coordinators, because when you get on the sideline, you come out of the game after a series, you go right over to that offensive coordinator. He has the chalkboard all drawn up, has everything drawn up for you. You very rarely interact with the head coach during the course of a football game. So when in the heat of battle, you're talking to those assistants, you're talking to your running back coach, you're talking to your quarterback coach, and you're talking to your assistants.
Yeah, it makes you wonder a little bit what kind of heat Larry Coker's feeling himself, because sometimes you'll see head coaches make those types of changes and they're starting to feel the grind a little bit.
But then it's all on you then. You say, now you got rid of those guys, now it's your responsibility.
But you can't get rid of the player.
Well, Devin Hester's going to be gone. He's going to the 2006 NFL Draft. He's cornerback, return man, played some wide receiver, says he needs to help out his family. Family home still damaged as a result of the hurricanes in South Florida. Brunell Brown, what broken leg? Urban Meyer's calling the face of Gator football his healthy legs with the feet of Florida football. 24/7, Gators at the break.
You think video games are incredible now. With a setup like this, you can make them really come alive. It all comes together right here. Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
To speak to a customer service rep in English, press 9. To speak to a customer service rep about your account balance, press 36. All right. To speak to a customer service rep about recent charges, press 3. To speak to a customer service rep about finance charges,
Sometimes you just want to get straight through. That's why there's the Citi Simplicity credit card. Simply press 0 to talk to a person. Citi, live richly.
Go Gators.
Go Gators. Go Gators. Go Gators.
Go start a Fortune 500 company.
Go write the great American novel.
Go cure cancer.
Go to Mars.
Go Gators.
There is no bond stronger than the one formed when you become a member of the Gator Nation.
Gators, jayo. Go Gators.
University of Florida, the foundation for the Gators.
Check out the new hit movies you can order on demand, and look what you can order right now.
Twisted by the dark side, young Skywalker has become.
The saga is complete.
You were the chosen one!
See Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith on demand. Let's not fight.
No, let's.
Prepare for the fantastic. Fantastic Four is now on demand. Adelphia on demand. Get, watch, do what you want.
We have American Family Auto Insurance, we have American Family Life Insurance, and we also have American Family Homeowners Insurance. We picked the insurance company because of the reputation, and they've been in business a long time.
Ever since I had a car, I've had American Family.
It's very convenient to have all of our insurances under one company.
The phone calls are returned immediately.
You feel comfortable?
Yeah, I just need somebody who caters to me. I am a princess sometimes.
American Family Insurance.
We'll definitely stay with American Family.
Bowl Challenge Cup presented by Cooper Tires. It goes to the conference with the best winning percentage. Now, the SEC's 1-1, but by the end of the day, the SEC could have this thing wrapped up. That would mean that Florida has to hang on to its lead in the second half of the Outback Bowl, which is coming up.
This halftime report is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
Joe, you're glad we got the Durango, right?
Of course.
And you liked all the money we saved when we bought it, right?
Got us a bigger boat.
Oh, and how about the Hemi engine and the DVD player and the hands-free cell? Then why won't you use the navigation system?
I'm not lost.
Dodge Durango.
This is starting to look familiar.
It's a lot of great stuff for a great price. Now through January 3rd, get $2,000 year-end bonus cash and grab an 05 Durango for under 22 grand.
Me? I'm a problem solver. There's a problem, I solve it. One problem I thought I'd solved? My acid reflux disease. I thought it was just bad heartburn. But when I went back to my doctor, he told me over time stomach acid had damaged the lining of my esophagus. He prescribed Nexium. Said I needed more than heartburn relief. My esophagus needed repair. Nexium healed the erosions in my esophagus. And one prescription Nexium pill a day keeps me healed and relieves my heartburn. So I don't just feel better, I am better. My doctor did say other serious stomach conditions may still exist, and headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain could be side effects of Nexium.
Talk to your doctor about Nexium and find out if a free trial is right for you.
Even the best problem solvers need a little help sometimes.
Nexium, the healing purple pill. If you can't afford your medications, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Welcome back to ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Welcome back, everybody, to Raymond James Stadium. It's the 20th edition of the Outback Bowl here on ESPN, part of Capital One Bowl Week. And Florida leading 24-7 at the break. And great part of bowl season is a chance to enjoy some of the pomp and pageantry of football. Seven at halftime. I'm Mark Jones along with Chris Spielman and Rob Stone down in the field. Joining us in just a few here at Raymond James Stadium. From all of us here at ESPN to all of you at home, all the best in 2006. Chris, we talked at the top of the show about the perception, Big Ten strength versus SEC speed. How have those variables mixed into the equation to produce that result so
I think Florida's shown some good speed. Not great speed because they haven't had a lot of big plays. But what they've shown is strength. And one of the things that Norm Parker was concerned about is running the football. And we asked Urban Meyer if he concentrated on running the football during their bowl preparation, since that wasn't one of their strengths during the season. They put a lot of work into it during their bowl week preparations, and it's paying off today. They're running the ball, they're throwing it, they're keeping time of possession, and they're doing what they want to do. Conversely, on the other side, Iowa cannot handle the matchups of the corners against the wide receivers. Florida's corners are beating up Iowa's wide receivers, and their defense is playing better.
All right, for more, let's go downstairs to Rob Stone.
Guys, Coach Kirk Ferentz, one of the questions I was about to ask him was, how did you handle all those questionable calls late that, Chris, you're going off on? Well, you just saw a couple seconds ago how he's handled it. It was a little one-on-one conversation. Kirk Ferentz and the rest of the officials. Kirk letting his known point being made, and right now saying 30 minutes. It's all we got, guys. Let's go.
Kirk Ferentz usually very understated, Rob, and this time a little bit more animated coming out of the locker room in his 7th season as the head coach at Iowa. We talked at the top of the show about Florida being one of the most opportunistic teams in the nation, 3rd in the nation in the takeaway giveaway department, and they have certainly been opportunistic today. A block punt for a touchdown, an interception for a touchdown, and Chris Leak has done everything in between to be a great curator of the clock and managing that offense. He's 15 of 21 passing for a very efficient 136 yards as Urban Meyer looks for his first bowl win as the head coach of the Florida Gators. And should they hang on to win, it would be a 9-win season for the Gator Nation, which sometimes is viewed as an underachievement for those in Gainesville. But in the wake of what they've had to endure this year, a new coach, some of the adjustments to the offense, they're doing very well. On the kickoff return, it's Manson. And Manson brought down at the 28-yard line. A 17-yard kickoff return as we take a look at our game track. Talked about the block by Jamel Cornelius and the recovery for the touchdown. That was the first score of the ball game. And then the second score for Florida. Vernell Brown's 60-yard interception return for a touchdown. Nice move on Drew Tate. And then near the end of the first half, there was a very controversial penalty preceding that. Dallas Baker with a reception in the end zone to make it 24-7. And here's Leak on the rollout. Pass complete. And Cornelius, who blocked that punt for the touchdown, makes the catch. His knee was down. Short of the first down at the 37-yard line. It'll be second down at about 2 to go.
Mark, one of the things Iowa has to do, and I was watching Kirk Ferentz right before kick, and he's working the sidelines back by the bench, all his groups. He's trying to energize his guys. I mean, they came out and they were a little bit flat. They got back into it with a catch, but they're still flat. They're not into the football game. Let's see if they respond the second half.
Their defense looking at 2nd and 2. Leak on a predetermined run. Brought down at about the 38-yard line, about a yard short of the first down. Let's go downstairs for more on Iowa.
Well, Chris, yeah, great point by Chris and Kirk Ferentz. You know, guys, he's really been kind of a motivational speaker today. He spent a majority of that first half. Remember that last defensive stand when they just allowed a field goal to Florida back in, I think it was early second quarter. He came off that field, and every guy he was talking to, good job, keep your head up, keep your head up. He's being the motivational speaker today on that Iowa sideline.
Kirk Ferentz, Rob, always with the credo, find a way. It evolved from the old Pittsburgh Steelers philosophies under Chuck Noll. That's one of his big influences. 3rd down and 1 for the Gators. They run it. It's going to be close. I'm not sure that Keyshawn Moore got the first down. They give him a very favorable spot just beyond the 39-yard line. Matt Cruel making the stop for the Hawkeyes up front.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mark. It was a favorable spot. Abdul Hodge shot through there and had a chance, but Moore was able to use his leg drive and fight to get the extra yardage. Let's see if we can see where the spot should be. Right there's Abdul Hodge, and he's behind the yellow line, it looks like, from there, and they spotted it at the 40-yard line. Now, I don't, again, I mean, I was not getting the breaks as far as officiating goes.
First down and 10 for the Gators. Leak on the slant, incomplete, intended for Dallas Baker. Defended well by Antoine Allen. It'll be second down and 10. Allen playing in front of friends and family members here. He's from the Tampa area, one of 4 Iowa Hawkeye players from this part of the country.
Mark, look, again, that spot, to me, they gave him about an extra yard. Let's see where the ball is spotted. Here's the 40-yard line. That's where the ball was spotted. And his momentum is stopped at the 38.5-yard line. Get it right.
10. Wow, they really moved the ball up. Leak sacked. Back at the 37-yard line. Brian Madison, the son of the defensive coordinator for Florida, making the sack on the play.
That's got to be tough for Greg Madison, obviously defensive coordinator for Florida. Watching his son play, but I guarantee you inside he's doing a little bit of, he's looking up at the replay. I taught him that. We asked Norm Parker if did Brian ever consider going to Florida to play for his dad, and Norm said that Brian didn't like Coach Brian's mom didn't like the coach of Florida, the defensive coordinator of Florida.
Yeah, his position coach, which would be Greg. Leak almost sacked and able to throw it away. Good pressure up front by Kenny Owebama. And it's fourth down coming up for the Gators. There's a look at Madison, who said, you know, I didn't really think it was fair to put my son under that kind of pressure, to put him in a position where if he came to the same school I was at, that people might look at him and say, hey, you're only playing because of nepotism, because your father is the position coach. And as a result, Madison deciding to go to Iowa.
Well, ironically enough, though, I've never seen a punt formation like this, Mark. And right here, you see there's nobody blocking here. I'd load that side up and come get him.
On 4th and 13, the punt from Wilbur. Kevon Johnson watching it bounce into the end zone. It'll come back out to the 20-yard line on the 63-yard punt. Kirk Ferentz, a former coach of the year, trying to find a way to bring his team back. We'll be back after this.
And now, the 4 finalists for the Pontiac Game-Changing Performance of the Year.
Pro throwing hole. Broyle looks that way, throws it long, into the grass, the sideline, close throw! Into the end zone, he rolls!
Inside the Texas 20, back to back Young, under pressure, steps out of it, tucks it in and runs to the 25, bids for the first down to the 30, up the sideline, Young to midfield, 45-40, say goodnight to this one, Vince Young, 80 yards.
Robinson delivers downfield for Derek Williams, wide open to the 10. Derek cuts inside to the 5, touchdown, Penn State.
Fans can vote once per week throughout December for the Pontiac Game-Changing Performance of the Year. The winning play will be announced during the Rose Bowl, and that school will receive a $100,000 scholarship contribution from Pontiac. Cast your vote at Pontiac.com/NCAA.
If you have a high-speed connection, you're even more vulnerable. Every month, more than 250 new viruses are created. Spyware slows browsing up to 500%. And phishing may lead to identity theft.
Holy moly.
So what can we do about it?
This.
That's it?
It's that simple.
The all-new Safety and Security Center with the most comprehensive set of automatically updating online safety tools. Want a better internet? You belong at AOL.
I ran the 800. I studied mechanical engineering and industrial design. I was a conference champion. I graduated with a GPA of 3.2. It took hard work, discipline, and stamina. And believe me, I rely on those things every day raising my daughter.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us are going pro in something other than sports.
Gators leading the Hawkeyes 24-7 in this, the 20th edition of the Outback Bowl. The third meeting all time between these two schools, and this telecast is available on ESPN HD, presented by DLP Picture Technology. First down and 10 for the Hawkeyes. A little movement up front, and Marcus Thomas making contact with an Iowa offensive lineman. This is going to be Iowa's first possession of the second half.
Onside on the defense, number 44. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Greg Madison, the co-defensive coordinator, along with Charlie Strong. Just one of a couple father-son combinations on the field today. The other being Brian Ferentz, the son of the head coach Kirk Ferentz. First down and 5 now as a result. Tate on the bootleg. And Drew Tate tiptoes out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. Let's look at some key plays from the first half. And this was a roughing penalty.
Yeah, this was the last drive where I was getting ready to get the ball back, and they got a penalty there. They got a penalty there for illegal tackling. Actually, the call was helmet to helmet, which there was not the case. And Chris Leak takes advantage of the breaks that Florida gets, hits Dallas Baker, who goes up tall and long to get the score.
That came on the heels of Iowa getting a momentum swinging touchdown from Clinton Solomon. 2nd down and 2 now coming up. Tate hands it off to Albert Young. Nothing doing up the middle. Marcus Thomas atoning for that earlier offside penalty a few moments ago. He might be the best defensive lineman up front.
Yeah, you take a look at big Marcus right here. Watch him fend off the double team and get back on his feet. This is a big man showing great ability. See the double team, actually triple team. 3 guys get him. He continues to work his feet, doesn't go down, and is able to wrap up Albert Young. That's a great play, Marcus Thomas. You do that, son, you'll be playing on Sundays.
Looks at the 3rd and 2 now for Iowa. Solomon is split wide to the top of your screen. Grigsby, the slot receiver. Comes the other way underneath to Chandler, the tight end, who converts the first down at the 33-yard line. He picked up 5 working against Jarvis Herring. Scott Chandler with the catch, moves the chains for the Hawkeyes.
Again, when Iowa has thrown the ball, they've been successful working on the underneath coverage versus the safeties and the linebackers with their running backs and tight ends. Where they've got to have some success and start working the edges. They're going to 11 personnel, 1 back, 3 wides, and maybe get that opened up a little bit.
Little pressure coming off the edge for Florida. Hinkle makes the catch at the 37-yard line. Picked up about 3 or 4 on the play. Ed Hinkle, one of several seniors playing their last game for the Hawkeyes out of Erie, Pennsylvania. In the first half, we told you about him breaking his arm against Purdue and coming back to play at the end of the season in a couple of games against Minnesota and Wisconsin.
It's a rare mental error right there by Ed Hinkle, not knowing where he was on the field. He turns, he steps out of bounds, where the nearest defender was 5 yards away.
Drew Tate now, Chris, 8 of his last 10 passing on 2nd down coming up. Going downfield and a broken off route by Grigsby. It's incomplete. 3rd and 7 coming up for Drew Tate.
Well, Florida did a good job. That's a nice call by Charlie Strong, coming with the zone blitz pressure to the field. And actually, they're running the blitz right to where Drew Tate is rolling out, forcing Drew to throw it over top. Charlie Strong, many consider him to be a head coaching candidate. I know I do. I've known Charlie for a few years. He's an excellent football coach.
3rd season at the position of Florida. 3rd and 7 coming up now for Iowa. They converted last time on 3rd down. Let's see what they do here. Solomon is split to the bottom of your screen. And it goes his way. He makes the catch for the first down right at midfield. Clinton Solomon had a touchdown near the end of the first half. Picked up 13 that time to get the first down against D. Webb.
See O'Keefe there, and he says, you know what I did, Chris? I went in there and showed him how to block to give Drew Tate some time. And that time, Clinton Solomon was able to run a nice route, pushing the defensive back, D. Webb, up the field. Buying himself some space, and again, Drew Tate throws him open, throwing him away from the coverage.
Tate has caught fire a little bit here.
Oh, he can now. He'll let her rip.
Works out of the shotgun. Down the middle of the field, into traffic, and caught miraculously by Chandler. A first down at the 29-yard line as he picks up 22. Earl Everett was there in coverage. I'm not sure how much better he could have come.
No, you can't get a better throw. He's got 3 guys on him. Earl Everett's actually doing a good job. And what concentration. Now, if I'm Kyle Jackson, I'm coming for the decapitation shot on Chandler. And Kyle Jackson kind of pulled up. But and Tate takes a shot. That was a confident throw, especially when you have a big man hitting you in the face. But if I'm Kyle Jackson, number 3, the free safety coming in late, he should have decapitated Chandler. I mean, that should knock out City.
Yeah, take his head off too, Chris.
Yes.
1st and 10. Young, Albert Young, chopped down at the 21-yard line, but another nice gain offensively for Iowa. Kyle Jackson making the stop for the Gators. Here's a pickup of 8.
Yeah, here's the adjustment that I was making. They come out and they're going to their 11 personnel mark. That means 1 back and 3 wide receivers. They're throwing the football, and by throwing the football, as I've been a proponent of, you've got to be able to throw the ball first to run the ball in college football, because defenses normally commit to stopping the run.
Coming out with a quick tempo. Hinkle complete at the 13-yard line, working against Jackson, who pushed him out of bounds. And with 9:40 to go on this, the first offensive possession of the 3rd quarter for Iowa. Drew Tate has it rocking right now.
And they go no huddle too now. They're going no huddle, kind of getting Florida back on their heels, not letting them a chance to get set or settled. Now see, Florida's substituting right now. If I'm Iowa, I'd be aware of that and get up and snap the ball. Maybe catch him with too many men on the field.
Albert Young, the lone back. They'll give it to him. Young gets to the edge and out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Albert Young with some strong running. He led the Big Ten Conference in running this year. Ian D. Webb doing a little jaw jacking there.
Yeah, you know, I'm digging this game. You know why I'm digging? Because I'm hearing pads and cracks and pops and all kind of noises coming from that football field. I'm even hearing grunts in the offensive line.
Well, as Rob Stone spoke to Kirk Ferentz at halftime, you could hear his voice intoning in the background. 30 minutes, guys, 30 minutes.
I know he wasn't happy with the performance that his Hawkeyes put together in the first half.
Tate, Young with nowhere to go, brought down immediately at the 11-yard line on Brandon Seiler.
Yeah, that's a bad read by Drew Tate, and he knew he made a bad read as soon as he threw the football. Seiler's coming up on man-to-man coverage. What he should have done is realize to take an incomplete pass and throw in front of Albert Young's feet and on the ground, because they lost 3 yards.
Move it back to the 12 with 8:40 to go in the third. Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator, along with Charlie Strong on the sidelines. They've got to get to the 3 for the first down. The 12th play of the Hawkeye drive. Incomplete over the middle. Intended for Grigsby. And one of the back judges, the official, kind of impeded his progress.
It's the umpire, and that's both that, you know, that's on Grigsby and Tate. The umpire does his job. He steps up. Now, he shouldn't have backpedaled all a little bit. He backpedaled right into Grigsby, and he knows it. You got to hold your ground, Mr. Umpire. You can't be backpedaling. You're not a DB. You're in there guarding the grunts.
Schlicker now into attempt a field goal. This one coming from 29 yards out. He was 16 of 19 on the year. And it's been that kind of day for the Hawkeyes with respect to special teams. He shanks it badly. We'll be back to Tampa right after this.
When agility gets down with utility, it's worth a closer look. Torn, a new crossover from Pontiac, designed for action.
Breakups are the best. Well, you don't want to see me anymore? That's cool. Let me get my guitar and my laptop. I'll write about it. I'll record it, mix it, make a CD. I won't be all depressed and home. I'll be in a home studio, which is good, because I don't want to go out and meet someone new. That'd blow the whole album.
Start something loud. Start anything you like with a world of software and devices that run on Windows.
Merry Christmas, Grandma and Grandpa!
But it's August.
I use my credit card miles. They blacked out the good weeks. While we're at it, happy Thanksgiving. Dibs on the drumstick, old man. Oh, and happy birthdays.
Yippee.
Put your Halloween costumes on while Mommy hides Easter eggs. Hey, you're looking good. Gonna cook that?
For easy-to-use rewards, get Capital One no-hassle rewards with no blackouts on any airline anytime.
Dad, I'm hot. Yeah, we're all hot.
Genius needs a Capital One card.
What's in your wallet?
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. Fullness from a value menu.
No one's going anywhere until you tell me who's full. Me too.
New to the Big Bell Value Menu, the half-pound cheesy bean and rice burrito. Loaded with 3 cheeses, fiesta sauce, and a cheesy, zesty kick. Designed to keep your stomach and your wallet full.
Number 3, if I'm a new cheesy bean and rice burrito, you are?
Full.
Oh my.
To get full-on value, think outside the bun.
ESPN College Football, the Outback Bowl, is brought to you by Pontiac. Today is your last chance to vote for the Pontiac Game-Changing Performance of the Year. Go to ESPN.com, keyword Pontiac. Microsoft Windows. Start something passionate. Start anything you like. And Capital One. What's in your wallet?
And
In the sun and sand of Clearwater Beach. Right now, it's Florida winning the tug-of-war. It's the 20th edition of the Outback Bowl. I'm Mark Jones, along with Chris Spielman and Rob Stone down in the field here in Tampa, Florida. Raymond James Stadium. Florida with a 24-7 lead. Deshaun Wynn in the ball game. Breaking tackles. Wynn with a first down at the 40-yard line. He picked up 18. And Marcus Pascal finally making the stop.
Deshaun Wynn was actually the leading ball carrier. Great vision. Then the burst. Now he's fresh. He's got fresh legs. He's 230 pounds. You see him just running through people. Good job by Cornelius blocking downfield. Almost cost him where Deshaun Wynn fell in the back of his legs. But receivers block downfield equals big runs.
1st and 10 out of the shotgun. It's Wynn again. Deshaun Wynn tackled at the 43. Formerly one of the highest recruited backs out of the state of Ohio, Chris. Hotbed for football, of course. Yeah. And Deshaun Wynn fell out of favor earlier this year with head coach Urban Meyer fighting some weight and injury issues, and had to earn Meyer's trust back again, which he subsequently did.
The one thing about Urban Meyer is that if football is not important to you, you will not last under his rule. It just doesn't happen. It has to be important, and I think Deshaun is doing that. And really, has all the talent in the world, Mark. He just has to take advantage of it.
On 2nd and 5, Leak throws it away. Well, this afternoon, the BCS kicking off, folks. A.J. Hawk, Ohio State, meeting up with Notre Dame in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl at 4:30 Eastern on ABC. I'm not even going to ask who you're picking in that game. At 8 Eastern, DJ Shockley in Georgia face the Big East champs, West Virginia, in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. The BCS Bowl games all available on ABC Sports. So who are you picking? Ohio State, Notre Dame?
I got the Buckeyes in a close one. It's going to be a great game. Two traditions going at it, just like this. This is high energy.
3rd down and 5. Hawkeyes could really use a stop here. They run a little twist up front, and Leak calmly finds his open receiver at midfield at Iowa's 49-yard line. A 6-yard pickup to Chad Jackson in the 1st down.
And that's where Chris Leak is comfortable when he's back in the pocket, gets depth, and what this offense does is brings the whole field into play. A lot of offenses, you're only playing half the field. But when Chris Leak has the whole field into play and has time to throw it, he'll put it on a dime every time.
Marcus Manson now in a tailback. 1st and 10. Manson gets the call, falls forward to the 47-yard line. Abdul Hodge making the stop on the play for Iowa. We've talked several times tonight about Chris Leak, his dedication, his work ethic. In fact, a couple of years ago, before Florida's game against Iowa in this very Outback Bowl game, then head coach Ron Zook phoned him the night before Christmas at about 10:30 at night, and you know what Leak was doing? He was watching tape of the previous game.
That's great. It's normal. Isn't that normal?
Is that normal?
Should be.
But bringing his personality out a little bit more on 2nd down and 8. Showing his legs work too. Leak down to the 43. Let's go downstairs to Rob Stone for more on Chris Leak.
Oh, Mark, Leak has played for 2 head coaches and 3 offensive coordinators while at Florida. But since day one under Urban Meyer, coach told him the offense will be built around you, Chris Leak. But he did admit, you know, guys, there was a point where they were regressing in that position. He admitted they are back in that improving direction. Leak's numbers down from last year. But we were talking about it yesterday in our meeting. This guy is still going to be coming up in the Heisman conversation next season.
Certainly will, and this performance in this game should help vault him in that direction, if even albeit just a little bit. Sean Wynn came back in a tailback, a flag on the near side of the field.
Yeah, that's number 4. You can see Urban Meyer right there. Boy, if mental errors, concentration errors, that's on him, and that's why he's so upset.
Somebody's going to be running the stadium stairs if that's the case.
Yeah. Urban
real soon.
Urban's out on the 50. Here comes the coach to get him back. He just threw the headsets.
You see him point in motion 4 times.
Disconcerting signals on the defense. Call that a snap count. Wow. A 5-yard penalty.
Disconcerting signals is the call.
What happens is that a lot of times if you try to be sneaky, you get to, after playing throughout the game, you end up knowing the offensive snap count, so you might be simulating the snap count to get somebody to jump early. But I'm going to tell you something, nobody on Florida's offensive line pointed to anybody to point guilt.
Are you talking about like a defensive player saying hut?
Yeah, or saying hut, or like blue 14, say go.
Penalty moves the ball to Iowa's 37.
And I think that's what Urban, the thing that Urban was arguing, because I guarantee you they talked about the 3 penalties at halftime and said, guys, what's going on? He said, Coach, they're calling out the signals or the cadence.
That started early, too, because Florida had a couple of motion penalties early in the first quarter.
They're having a hard time marking that football. Well, they got to reset the chains, too.
Right now they have it spotted at the 38.
There's Billy Latsko in the ball game. Now, ideally, Urban doesn't play a fullback, but they've gone to fullback to establish the running game a little bit more. Right here's Billy, kind of an H-back type guy.
On 1st and 10, Leak with a little play fake, looking downfield, has a man wide open. Touchdown, Baker.
What a great call.
Chris Leak with another touchdown pass, the second of the day, and the second one to Dallas Baker. That's the type of promise and potential that is being realized finally by Chris Leak. And Florida now with a convincing 31-7 lead with 5:23 to go in the third period. Chris Leak has really toiled at times this year, struggled, but it's all come to a head tonight. Leak is on his game in a big way. Anyone say Heisman for next year?
It's what you want, what you need, it's everything you ever dreamed. Blue sea, blue sky, spread your wings and fly. It's where you wanna go. It's where you wanna be.
St. Petersburg Clearwater, Florida's beach.
Tonight on ESPN, get your fill of triple Salcals and double axles as the Cup of China and Cup of Russia take center ice. On ESPN2,
S-A-L-C.
these kids can actually spell Salcal. They'll strut their stuff in a Scripps Howard Spelling Bee marathon. It's all on tonight. For all the latest all the time, turn to ESPN News.
With Vonage, I talk as much as I want and pay a lot less. It's just $24.99 a month, and that includes voicemail, caller ID, three-way calling, and a lot more. The voice quality's great, and I even get to keep my same phone and phone number. I've had Vonage for 4 months. Should have gotten it a long time ago.
We're not out to change the world, just the way you talk to it. Sign up now and get your first month free. Call 1-800-939-4VON. High-speed internet connection required.
Call today and get your next notebook from Dell, home of America's favorite notebooks 6 years running. This Inspiron B120 with an Intel Celeron M processor, free wireless card, and free memory upgrade can be yours for only $499 after mail-in rebate. It's more than just a notebook. It's a Dell.
Florida leading 31-7. One more look at that touchdown catch by Dallas Baker.
Baker right here is going to come in, run the post, and hit the flag. Chris Leak will roll, get the defense to roll with him. Nice little throwback. Center post. Hit the flag. All day, my friend.
Third time this season that Dallas Baker has caught passes for over 100 yards in all. The offensive line doing a nice job keeping Leak safe. Let's take a look at the drive insurance from Progressive scoring drive. 13 plays, 68 yards, eclipsing 3:49 on the clock. And Iowa now with a real daunting task ahead. On the return, it's Sims, and Sims takes it out just shy of the 20. Well, the BCS continues on ABC tomorrow night. Penn State and Joe Paterno, Bobby Bowden, Florida State, two of the greatest coaches in college football, in the FedEx Orange Bowl at 8 Eastern. Then Wednesday, the 4th of January, Reggie Bush and USC against Sir Vince in Texas in the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi at 8 Eastern time. First down and 10. Hawkeyes starting from their own 18. Bootleg by Drew Tate. Completes it to Chandler, who's pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line by Earl Everett. Chandler picks up 16, and you would think, Chris, that Iowa would stay in its hurry-up offense like they showed earlier.
I think you have to. One, because of being down 24 points. Also, that's the only offense they've been able to move the ball consistently and control the football. But obviously, they're going to the huddle. But they'll be in a little bit of hurry-up mode.
That was the 5th catch of the afternoon for Scott Chandler, whose brother Nathan was the winning quarterback for the Hawkeyes the last time these two teams met a couple of years ago here. On 1st and 10, underneath to Solomon, and he's wrapped up at the 37-yard line by D. Webb. 5 minutes to go in the third.
You know, defensive backs need vision, Mark, especially when they're running across the field, because there's plays designed to pick them off in their coverage. And D. Webb has to kind of weave his way through traffic. And the thing I liked was his closing speed on Solomon. Once Solomon caught the ball, he was not able to make the transition from the catch to the run.
2nd down and 7. Big day for both the SEC as well as the Big Ten. And off to Albert Young, who runs over the left side, and he's brought down by Todd McCullough.
You're going to get Clinton Solomon going up against Vernell Brown. I think Clinton threw a little late on him.
3rd down, 42.
It's a little bit of loss of composure. Even though Iowa has not had the calls go their way, you still got to keep your composure and play smart.
We've seen a couple of penalties that really hurt Iowa, in particular the spearing, the helmet-to-helmet hit on a Webema late in the first half.
At a personal foul, face mask, number 88 on the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remaining 2nd down.
How do you get a face mask while on offense? Well, we'll find out.
You see Clinton Solomon right here coming out and blocking. And to me, Vernell Brown was the one that had Clinton Solomon's face mask.
Hold on a second. Did we see that right? That is incredible if that's all there is to it.
No, but Vernell Brown had Clinton Solomon's face mask. I mean,
if that's all there is to it, they got the wrong guy. 2nd and 22, and there's another flag down the field.
Ball start, number 76 on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Very uncharacteristic loss of poise by the Hawkeyes. Let's go back to that last penalty against Solomon for face mask.
Yeah. There's Vernell. Now see, Vernell has him by the face mask and pulls him down. And Clinton Solomon might have got his hand up there, but if you're going to call it, see the whole thing. I mean, Vernell Brown literally jerked him by the face mask down and walks away.
Unless something happened out of the views of our camera. That seemed to be an inexplicable call. Hinkle brought down at the 24-yard line by Marcus Thomas. Picked up 6 yards on the play. 3:44 to go in the 3rd period. And Chris Leak, who at one point thought about attending Iowa, took his visit there the same weekend as his counterpart Drew Tate. Ended up going to Florida. Tate choosing Iowa. Right now, it's Leak winning that personal battle. 3rd and 21. Fires complete to Solomon. And Solomon has the first down at Florida's 48-yard line, atoning for the face mask penalty a couple of plays ago. Solomon picks up 28.
Great recognition by Clinton Solomon and Drew Tate. Florida makes a mistake by only rushing 3. Why? Because they've had success, and when they bring more, it's a great throw. And watch Clinton Solomon work back toward the football in front of Jarvis Herring. But the way you work back for the football, know where you are in the football field, gave Drew Tate time to throw him the ball.
1st and 10. Pass complete to the near side of the field, right near the first down marker at the 38 of the Gators. Solomon working against Kyle Jackson. You know, Clinton Solomon has really gone through a lot of adversity at Iowa. After his freshman year, he was ruled academically ineligible, had to attend Iowa Central Community College and earn back the faith and trust of Kirk Ferentz, which he subsequently did, and got back onto the squad and into the good graces of the coach, and did a great job on the field, emerging as the team's top receiver towards the end of last season, and carried that momentum and skill and productivity into this year. Damian Sims in a tailback on 1st and 10. A little movement on the left side of that offensive line for Iowa.
And give credit to Kirk Ferentz. You know, he just didn't banish him to junior college and let him rot.
Number 75 on offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Kirk and his staff kept close tabs on Clinton to make sure he's doing all the right things to come back to Iowa. And that's commitment. And that's what you can sell when you recruit, that you're not going to give up on guys.
1st and 15. Solomon split to the bottom of your screen there. Out of the shotgun, Drew Tate. Pressure coming. They had the right call, but the wrong result. Damian Sims couldn't make the catch, Chris.
You ain't kidding, they had the right call, Mark. They had the blitz on Florida's defense, and they had the screen set up against the blitz and room to run. If you got a chance to go up with 2, go up with 2. You won't need to go with 1. Go with 2. Secure the catch first. The screen, you'll have time to run and pick your hole.
Drew Tate will get up into the grill of his teammates when he has to. They keep them focused and where they need to be. 2nd and 15 coming up for the Hawkeyes. More heat coming. They ran the jailbreak screen and it's incomplete. Intended for Ed Hinkle.
Now, you got Hinkle and Chandler looking at each other because somebody didn't get the call, and I believe it was Chandler that did not get the call because Hinkle and Tate were on the same page. Now watch Chandler. He's going to run right into where Chandler's going to run right to where the ball's being thrown. And he doesn't know who's catching it. Hinkle doesn't know and Chandler doesn't know.
Iowa has really become unglued at some unfavorable times. 3rd and 15. Ball's at the 43 of Florida. Hinkle split to the top of your screen. Solomon to the bottom. Damian Sims is the tailback beside Drew Tate.
And here comes the blitz again. They just keep bringing it.
Quick 3-step drop, incomplete for Solomon. And it's 4th and 15 coming up for Iowa.
Well, that's what I was talking about when they hit the 4th or 3rd and 21. They only rushed 3. Well, apparently they were listening because every time they got a 3rd down and long now, they're coming with the blitz and Iowa can't handle it.
Fenstermaker coming into punt, standing on his own 44-yard line. This is his 5th punt of the day. Chad Jackson standing at his own 10. And this is not a great punt by Fenstermaker. And it takes a Gator bounce all the way out near the 35-yard line. He was named after a Pope, Urban Meyer. He's got higher powers working for him right now. We'll be back.
What did you do?
I had to fire the guy. You know what just hit me? We should go to Outback for the new Karen citrus chicken. Marinated, seasoned, char grilled in a citrus glaze.
Mind if I join you? Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Red 21! Red! Prime rib! Seasoned, seared, slow roasted at Outback!
Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
I'm open! I'm open!
One car was ranked most appealing entry midsize by J.D. Power and Associates and earned Strategic Vision's Total Quality Award. It wasn't a Toyota or Honda. It was the Pontiac G6 sedan, designed to be one of the best cars in the world. And now, we've created another. The new 240 horsepower G6 Coupe. Now during the Pontiac Red Tag event, G6 starts at $15,932. The price on the tag is the price you pay, not a penny more.
Disciplined investing. It's not about following the crowd. At T. Rowe Price, our independent research means we're not deceived by every market ripple, and we don't chase every fad. For each 1, 5, and 10-year period, over 70% of our funds beat their Lipper average. Low-cost mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a complete prospectus or profile with investment objectives, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Nicorette Fresh Mint is different. It's the first and only stop-smoking gum coated with a cool burst of mint flavor. In fact, consumers prefer the taste 2 to 1 over any stop-smoking gum. It tastes great and fights cravings fast. Nicorette Fresh Mint. Start chewing, start quitting.
Warning, this movie contains excessive drinking.
I feel like Tom Cruise in Cocktail.
Chronic memory loss.
I can hear my hair growing.
And violent behavior.
Monkey!
Happy Madison's Grandma's Boy. Rated R. Friday. Only in theaters. Go to grandmasboymovie.com.
Florida leading 31-7 with 2:29 to go in the third quarter, and tune into the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi to find out the Pontiac game-changing performance of the year. Vote now at ESPN.com. Search Pontiac. Winning school is going to receive a $100,000 contribution toward their general scholarship run from Pontiac. And I'll tell you, Vernell Brown had a Pontiac game-changing type moment earlier in this game on the pick for the touchdown. 1st and 10 for the Gators from their own 35. Chris Leak looking up top. Incomplete intended for Dallas Baker. Hey, Reese, the Big Ten needs to get it cranked up here.
What the Big Ten needs to do if they want to crank it up is just follow the example of Wisconsin. Huge underdog in the Capital One Bowl to Auburn, but John Stocco to Brandon Williams, and he set sail for the end zone. Badgers have added a field goal. They're on top of Auburn 10-0. First quarter almost over.
All right, Reese. Boy, yeah, the Big Ten could really use a win. 2nd and 10. Leak complete to his tight end Casey over the middle. Another first down into Hawkeye territory at the 44-yard line. He was working against Abdul Hodge, and he picked up 21 on the play.
Well, that's one thing. His game will need to improve once he gets to the NFL. Obviously, he's very adept at stopping the run, but if you're playing coverage on the tight end, the one thing you do not want to give up is the inside half of the field, because you have no help to the inside half. Tate's a big, strong target that can run.
First down and 10 for the Gators at Iowa's 44. Moore in motion to the top of your screen. And Leak had it batted down at the line of scrimmage by Mitch King. Talk about those 4 guys up front for the Hawkeyes. Madison, King, Cruel, and Webemer. Replacing 4 players from the previous season that all got into NFL camps. 3 of them still in the league right now. But Norm Parker has said that they've really emerged to carve their own identity, especially a Webemer, who led the team in sacks this year with 7.
And Norm called him a future star.
And Norm, one of the best assistant coaches you'll find in college football. Marcus Manson in the tailback, and it's underneath and incomplete, almost intercepted. Into and out of the arms of a Hawkeye defender.
And Mike Humpel had a chance to bring that in. The ball's deflected, and it comes in like a knuckleball now. Right there, you see the ball tipped, and it just is on top of Humpel before he can secure the grab. Right? You know what? Florida's aggressive. They've been aggressive from the first play of the game, Mark, where they blitzed and they came after the punt block. And on offense, they're not doing anything as far as shutting it down or getting conservative. I mean, the first play of this drive, they went up top.
Looking at a 3rd down and 10. I'm wondering what all the hubbub was about Chris Leak. He's been pretty efficient today here, handing it off to Marcus Manson. And Manson stopped up at the 43-yard line of Iowa. Way short of the first down. Chris Leak has been very efficient 19 of 31 passing with a couple of touchdown passes. And there's a look at a very balanced picture offensively for the Gators.
Yeah, right there, the 117. Something that Florida hasn't been able to do on a consistent basis is run the football, and they really committed themselves during their bowl preparation to work on the running game, and it's certainly led to some good results today.
And looking at Luke on the sidelines, he came down here on his own right before Christmas, had to check himself into the hospital because of dehydration. Everything turning out okay on 4th down. The punt coming from Eric Wilbur. Fair catch called by Johnson at the 15-yard line. A 29-yard punt, nothing on the return. The Hawkeyes with a huge hill to climb here under the sunny skies in Tampa, Florida. This afternoon, folks, the BCS kicks off when A.J. Hawk and Ohio State meet Brady Quinn and Notre Dame. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl at 4:30 Eastern on ABC. Then at 8 o'clock, a great matchup as Georgia faces West Virginia in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. BCS Bowl games all available on ABC Sports.
One thing we talk about the ability of Charlie Weiss to prepare his team for a football game. Jim Tressel is no slouch at that either.
1st and 10 for Iowa. Hinkle making the catch. Ed Hinkle making his way out beyond the 25 to the 27-yard line. Under a minute to go now in the 3rd quarter. A 13-yard pickup from Hinkle. And there's no quit in Drew Tate either. I mean, I'll tell you something about him. Norm Parker was relating the story to me out a couple of years ago. He and Matt Roth got into a little fist fight. And Matt Roth was about 6'5", 250 pounds, now with the Miami Dolphins in the NFL. He's not afraid to go toe-to-toe. Albert Young on the handoff. And Young out to the 32, brought down by Derek Harvey. Picked up 5 on the play with 34 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
I'm a little bit surprised we're not seeing a hurry-up type offense from Iowa, who's known for late-game heroics in bowl games.
Like a year ago.
Yeah.
A moment that will forever live in Hawkeye folklore. A major comeback for the victory on the pretty much last play of the game. 2nd down and 5 to go for Iowa. This will be the last play of the period. And Tate gets it off incomplete. Everybody covered, shadowed by those blue Florida jerseys. Seiler lowered the boom on Tom Bush. And how appropriate that the 3rd period would end in such a manner. In the Gators' flavor. Chris Leak with 2 touchdown passes, both of them to Dallas Baker, and Urban Meyer is loving every second of it so far. Back for the 4th after this.
Singular customers text CITY to 243 to download the Coming to Your City ringtone.
There are 2 kinds of people, 2 kinds of companies who change the world. Those who invent and those who deliver. And while the world benefits greatly from both, they rarely join together. Until now. SBC, America's largest provider of DSL broadband, and AT&T have joined forces to create the most complete and secure network on Earth, so you can make the most of your world. Introducing the new AT&T. Your world. Delivered.
And he said, I'd like to see you again. And I said, I'd like to see you again too.
It was like we already knew each other. It was just phenomenal.
It's Just Lunch, dating for busy professionals.
I think It's Just Lunch is good, for guys especially, because it put them in contact with people that they wouldn't meet normally.
It's hard to get people together when they have hectic schedules. You basically show up. It's effortless. It's easy.
Call now for a free copy of the It's Just Lunch Guide to Dating in Your City. Call 800-99-LUNCH.
Code white, do you copy?
Copy that.
Hey! Need a lift?
Yeah.
Good thing I have Esurance. I can report a claim 24/7.
But he'll never get his car repaired out here.
Not true. With its direct repair program, Esurance can always find you a reliable body shop.
But what if he had his own body shop?
At Esurance, it's your choice. If you're on the go, you've got to have Esurance.
Save on 24/7 claim service. Visit esurance.com today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Raymond James Stadium for the start of the fourth quarter. Florida leading Iowa right now. They missed the third meeting all time between these two teams. Iowa defeated Florida a couple of years ago right here in the Outback Bowl. 37-17, but so far, a different story. Into traffic and incomplete, intended for Chandler. Broken up by Jarvis Herring and Todd McCullough.
Well, that's just, Drew had it in his mind that he was going to Chandler all the way, and Jarvis Herring and McCullough were doing a double team on him, where McCullough was playing inside. Herring comes up on the outside. That's a great call again by Charlie Strong. He's trying to take away what I was done best, throw the ball to Chandler, and they double team him.
We're down in 5. Jackson standing on his own 27, ready for the punt from Andy Fenstermaker. A high spiral. Jackson calls for the fair catch. It's fumbled. Loose. Iowa football at the 5-yard line. Miguel Merrick making the recovery. First and goal, Iowa. An opportunity calls for the Hawkeyes.
You see that Chad Jackson takes his eye off the ball right at the last second. Even though he has a fair catch, he tries to go over the top and catch it like a receiver, which is normally a pretty good way to catch the football. Got a little bit confused. Do I go underhand with the Willie Mays or do I go over the top? He went over the top. Cost his football team.
The 6th lost fumble for Florida this year. And an inviting chance here for the Hawkeyes. Young. Hit immediately, moving the pile down to the 4-yard line. Stephen Harris made the initial contact up front.
Yeah, well, Jeremy Mincy also had a great play where he actually threw Tony Muyaki out of the saloon. I mean, he drove him back and threw him out of the saloon. Now, you've had enough, young man. He makes the tackle. That's a nice job by Mincy, just controlling the line of scrimmage, showing his strength as a Southeast Conference.
This Florida defense is 10th in the country against the run. And they flex their muscle today. 2nd and goal for Iowa. Tate, incomplete for Chandler at the 2. It'll be 3rd and goal coming up for Iowa. A field goal really doesn't do much for them.
No, I'm looking at that. Now, Florida does a lot of substitution, and right there they had their dime package in at 6 defensive backs. Iowa has their regular personnel and their 22 personnel where they might have wanted to try to run that football against, against the linebacker front. Only one linebacker defense. You had a chance maybe to pound it in there. Didn't recognize.
Hinkle split to the top of your screen. Solomon to the bottom of your screen. Albert Young is the lone back. Tate working out of the shotgun. The jailbreak screen. Hinkle. Touchdown, Iowa. And Drew Tate strikes quickly after the fumble recovery on the punt.
And not enough teams do this. They run quick screen down on the goal line. Why? Because they get it to a football player. Ed Hinkle. Look at him stretch and break the plane. Right there's the football. Ed Hinkle's got his tough on. Always does.
6th touchdown catch this season. And that play, Chris, through the years has been a favorite of theirs. That one almost blocked, but it carries over the uprights, over the crossbar and into for the extra point. Hinkle showing a little wear and tear. We'll be back.
This is life. This is Life and Drive, the all-new Ford Fusion.
Edge Advanced Shave Gel. A refreshingly cool formula for an irresistibly cool shave. Cool.
Mark, get the door.
Isabella.
Marco.
This is my roommate, Frank.
Ciao, Francesco.
Ciao.
Francesco.
Edge Advanced. Refresh your shave.
In all the world, there are a select few who at their very core are capable of incredible transformation. Under the most grueling conditions, they are shaped, hardened, sharpened, ready to stand among the most elite of all warriors. The few, the proud Marines.
My knee used to ache so bad, I couldn't go out. I used a heating pad. I couldn't go out. Then I found Thermacare heat wraps for knees. It heats up, the pain melts away. It's like a heating pad that can go anywhere. Like me.
This is life. This is Life and Drive. The all-new Ford Fusion.
People should be treated fairly. That's why eLoan has no lender fees. Find out how much home you can afford by getting pre-approved today. Those are some of the revolutionary ways we're changing the lending industry. eLoan. Radically simple.
Ed Hinkle with a touchdown catch moments ago before we went to break, and Iowa now within 17 points. It's 31-14. Too early for the onside kick, Chris?
Yep.
It's going to come down short at about the 8-yard line to Marcus Manson. And Manson rocked at the 17. Well, two first-year head coaches at two major football programs have had 2 great years separately. Urban Meyer, 8-3. Charlie Weiss, 9-2. Weiss already getting himself a nice extension.
Yeah, a lot of people thought Urban Meyer shunned Notre Dame for the opportunity to coach the Gators.
First down and 10. Leak fumbling the snap. And he's sacked back at the 17-yard line. Chad Greenway making the stop for the Hawkeyes.
Tackled by number 18, Chad Greenway.
We talked about this matchup at the top of the show, Chris.
Yep.
Greenway, Hodge against Leak. How would you assess that so far?
Well, I think both Greenway and Hodge have played their typical solid football game, but to me, Chris Leak has been particularly outstanding today. And making all kind of throws and making good decisions and protecting the football. That's the only time really we had an issue with ball security as far as fumbles and interceptions.
On second down and 11. Leak at the 30-yard line. It's incomplete, intended for Dallas Baker, just a little bit low. Third and 11 coming up. You know, Urban Meyer talks about the turning point of their season. It might have been after the South Carolina loss. He kept the team on the charter plane and made a very passionate speech about selflessness and told them, hey guys, I've had it with individual agendas. And they seem to have gotten his message. Big win over Florida State and playing well today against Iowa. Third and 11. Leak completes it. First down at the 30-yard line. The catch by Dallas Baker, who has been his go-to guy today. Number 13.
They come back to the same play that they ran before, where the ball was dropped earlier by Dallas Baker, even though it was a low throw, certainly a catchable ball. And this time they come back to the same play because it was open to play before. Iowa did not adjust. You look at Dallas Baker's numbers, outstanding, and they just come back until they adjust it. If you want to run another pass play, run the same play until they get it fixed.
First down and 10. Deshaun Wynn with the handoff. Nice run over the left side out to the 45-yard line. Hey, everybody talking about Texas and their national championship aspirations. The Texas men's basketball team with a big game coming up right after this one against number 4 Memphis. Calipari and the crew rolling right now. The Tigers, Darius Washington playing with a bum leg and still doing very well. The tip in that game coming up at 2:35 Eastern time. And Memphis with a lot of length, a lot of skilled players this year, being led by Darius Washington, their fantastic point guard. This is Moore back in the ball game, giving Florida more. Down to the 48 and into Iowa territory. The clock now working against the Hawkeyes, down 17. A 17-yard pickup by Easton Moore, who was somewhat the surprise starter in this ball game. Going with him instead of Rashawn Wynn.
You know, if you're on an Urban Meyer coach football team, competition is every day, and nothing is solidified. And when he means he's going to open up the competition for running back, he is.
Those guys up front doing a nice job for Moore and Wynn and Manson, 4 seniors and 1 junior on that offensive line. And another nice gain, good blocking. Moore with the first down for Moore. Let's go to Rob.
Well, it's easy to run when you have a good center in front of you. This is the 50th straight start for Gator center Mike DeGore. You know, he's been one to fit in with the big boys since he was 9, when he was told he was too big to play with his age in his local football league. 2 years later, he faced another obstacle. It's one I've often had to deal with.
What's that?
A razor. Yeah, he started shaving at age 11, people. 11. When you're in 5th grade and you're battling the 5 o'clock shadow after recess, it's tough, baby.
First down and 10. Rashawn Wynn in the ball game now, getting his opportunity, and he's stopped up at about the 35-yard line by Ryan Bain. As we approach 11 minutes to go in this, the 20th edition of the Outback Bowl. DeGore, one of those 4 seniors up front on the offensive line. The only junior is Steve Rissler.
That's tough when you lose your center. I mean, you always have to have a guy that can think, and that's hard for a lot of offensive linemen. But he's got to be one that can think and make a lot of adjustments. Kind of the captain of the up front. Well, a lot of times calls protections.
The starting center for the last 3 seasons. 2nd down and 8. Win in motion. They come back to the field side. Baker, great hand walking act all the way down to the 25, but there's a flag down back at the 39-yard line. A missed tackle by Matt Crewell.
Illegal use of the hand. Number 68 on the offense.
That's on DeGore, the center we were just talking about and praising so highly. Happens to the best of them, Chris.
Yeah, he's got the beard. Apparently he hasn't used his razor since the 5th grade. Right here's DeGore. Let's take a look what happens. Now, see, that's a bad call. That's a horrible call. He's taught to club them by. Exactly what he did.
Is that just technique?
Yeah, that's the technique that's taught. I never heard of that one either.
Leak with the right technique there. They get the yardage back. Down to the 30-yard line, Dallas Baker working against Antoine Allen. He's about 3 yards short of the first down.
Dallas Baker's a big-time receiver, and right there, I know a big-time receiver when he doesn't try to body catch the ball, but he reaches out, snatches the ball late with late hands, and that's something they've been able to do all day on Iowa's defensive backs. They're working away from the trip side, the 3-receiver side, and again, matching up the single-receiver side and taking advantage of the matchup right out here. It's the same alignment again, right there. They've been working this side all day.
On a predetermined run, Chris Leak slips and falls at the 29 and 4th down coming up. Now, did he slip or did he slide? Did he slide purposely?
By looking at the coach, I think he slid. And that's something, again, that they're trying to get him to do is run the football because that's part of this offense. Right there, he's running. He took it to me. Hey, he went down. Yeah, he went down. He didn't slip.
Yeah, it looked like that was by design.
And you know that's up. Look at it. That's he's inside. He's burning up because you want to have a quarterback in this offense that has to run the football. Alex Smith at Utah ran the ball. Chris Leak has the ability to run it. Now keep an eye on this because Urban's going to address him when he comes to the sidelines. When his arms cross, that means look at him. Where are you? Hey.
Florida calls the timeout. In an otherwise flawless performance today, timeout called by Leak. We'll be right back.
What did you do?
I had to fire the guy. You know what just hit me? We should go to Outback for the new Cairn Citrus Chicken. Marinated, seasoned, charred, grilled in a citrus glaze.
Mind if I join you? Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Red 21! Red! Prime rib! Seasoned, seared, slow roasted at Outback!
Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
I'm open!
I knew he'd come in handy someday.
I'm State Farm Agent Ephraim Sanchez, and this is a true story.
I never knew that his good grades would save us money on car insurance.
I never knew he could get good grades.
He cheated.
He had a tutor. When I found out about Mark's grades, I got him a good student discount.
Dad, if you get me a car, we could get another discount.
Mark's getting a car?
That's so not fair.
More drivers get more discounts from State Farm than anybody else. See what a State Farm agent could save you today.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Trucks are made for pulling. That's why the 5.4-liter V8 in the Ford F-150 uses an innovative 3-valve design. 3 valves allow the engine to breathe better, crank out more power, and pull more than you ever thought possible.
Finally, we're using my credit card miles. They couldn't black us out forever.
But Dad, it's summer.
What are you, a weatherman?
All right, who's up for a little double diamond? Last one down's a coward. I'm okay.
They need a Capital One card.
For easy-to-use rewards, get Capital One no-hassle rewards with no blackouts on any airline anytime.
Kids, look at that!
What's in your wallet?
ESPN College Football, the Outback Bowl, is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. And in part by State Farm. Great service, great rates. That's why 40 million drivers trust State Farm. And Ford F-150, built Ford tough.
A look high above Raymond James Stadium here in Tampa, Florida. Florida leading Iowa 31-14 with 8:51 to go in the fourth period. I'm Mark Jones along with Chris Spielman and Rob Stone, and this is the 20th edition of the Outback Bowl and the third game all time between Iowa and Florida. Each team has won on one occasion. 4th and 1. The Gators are going to go for it. Jackson in motion. Leak got rid of it. A catch and a hit. And it appears to be a little bit short of the first down. Jackson made the catch for the Gators.
Now, if they're just a tad short of the first down, you know what? Go back to the previous play where Chris Leak took a little bit of I'm going to call it, he took a dive. If he would have stuck his head up in there to fight for the extra yard, they would have had the first down. Jackson makes the catch. It's a good hit. Coming up is Antoine Allen. But they're a half a yard short. If Chris Leak turns into the quarterback that Urban Meyer wants him to become, then it's a first down. Right here, this is the play we were talking about earlier, where Chris Leak has a chance to stick it up in there. He sees Abdul Hodge coming. He didn't want any part of it. That's just flat out turn down on his part.
And a flag on the far side of the field. And to put a period on your point, Chris, people do note the fact that in the second year where Urban Meyer has been offensively, his offenses.
Number 88 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
In that second year, his offenses and quarterback make a quantum leap in improvement.
In his offense, you've got to have a quarterback that can run for it to be successful, so you don't have to tailor it. That's just the nature of the offense.
Sims in a tailback on 1st and 15 now, behind the intended receiver at the 31-yard line, Ed Hinkle. And it'll be 2nd and 15 coming up for Drew Tate.
And I'm going to go back to this, Mark, because I think it's important, because Florida's going to be loaded next year. They're losing 4 of their offensive linemen. I understand that. They'll have talent coming in. But if Florida's going to be as good as Florida can be, then that young man right there has to make a decision that I'm going to run the football.
Can you change him at this stage of his career?
Give him a tough pill. I'm not saying he's not tough, but give him a tough pill when he runs the ball.
They set up the screen. Damian Sims fighting for extra yards out near the 35-yard line. Chris Leak has seen the offense change a little bit. And there's a look at his numbers in comparison to Alex Smith, who ran that spread option offense for Urban Meyer at Utah. Look at their rushing yards.
Well, that's the thing that's out of this game and out of the offense is the option, which is a big part of that offense. And so when you're trying to put in an explosive offense like you had at Bowling Green and what you had at Utah with Josh Harris running the show, they had the option game, which creates more of a problem for defenses. They have no option game.
3rd and 3 for Iowa. Complete to Grigsby, who has the first down at the 43-yard line. He was working against D. Webb, and he made it work that time with 7:48 to go in the ballgame. Iowa down 17 points. Florida looking for its 9th win of the season and its first bowl win in the last 4 tries.
Well, if I'm Iowa, although the clock stops it out of bounds, I'm looking at a little bit of a hurry-up type offense with 7:48 and clicking here. You've got to get some sense of urgency and start maybe attacking down the field a little bit, taking a shot.
That would mean Clint Solomon. Blitz coming by Florida. Tate has the necessary time. Hinkle, the intended receiver, it's incomplete at the 25-yard line. January 7th, the NFL playoffs kick off with Wild Card Saturday on ABC. Doubleheader coverage beginning at 3 Eastern. Game time is the 3 Eastern. Game 1 is at 4:30 between Washington and Tampa Bay. Game 2 at 8 Eastern between Jacksonville and New England. ABC Sports, home of Super Bowl 40. And Jacksonville hoping to get Byron Leftwich back. He dressed yesterday but did not play. 2nd down and 10 for the Hawkeyes from their own 42. Tate throws it away. Had nobody open, which usually means a good decision by Drew Tate.
3rd down and 10. You're down 17. You're 6 yards, 7 yards short of midfield. I think you're in 2-down territory.
Some of the coaches at Iowa call Drew Tate the next Doug Flutie. Well, he's going to need a Flutie-like miraculous turnaround here. With his team down 31-14. Quick slant. Solomon makes the catch. His forward progress is going to be marked right near the first down marker at the 47-yard line of Florida. And there's a look at a former Iowa great, Brad Banks, who was the leader of that magical run that they made back in 2002, playing in the FedEx Orange Bowl and finally losing to USC. But it really underscores the great turnaround that Kirk Ferentz has made with the Iowa football program. Started off 1-10 in his first year, 3-9 his second year. Then they turned the corner in his 3rd season at 7-5, followed by 11-2, 10-3, and then 10-2. Mentioned by many to be contenders for the Big East, pardon me, the Big Ten title at the start of the season. They got the first down. Right out of the gate, kind of shaky at 2-2.
Yeah, I think they got a favorable spot.
Might be about time they get taken that out of it.
Yeah. Talk about Kirk Ferentz, obviously every year at this time when NFL jobs open up, his name pops up not only because of the success that he's had at Iowa, but certainly the experience and success he's had in the NFL as an assistant coach.
Drew Tate fires complete to Chandler. 39-yard line, Vernell Brown. Let's take a look at that spot that they received. Solomon makes the catch.
Yeah, and they gave him a 2-yard spot. I don't know. Maybe the layoff is kind of a little rust on the officials.
Conference USA officiating crew.
I think they had to go split crews. I mean, there's been some issues. That's Lloyd Carr.
Yeah.
I think you go split crews. Should be Southeast and Big Ten. Split them up. Let them play. Game's too fast for him.
Drew Tate. Plenty of real estate. Hinkle gave him a nice block downfield. And it's first down Hawkeyes at Florida's 13-yard line. Drew Tate making his legs work for him to pick up 25.
And you can see they're in their hurry-up mode. And right now, if they get lined up, Florida has too many guys on the field.
Tate working out of the shotgun again. touchdown. What a dart to Hinkle. And here come the Hawkeyes.
That's 2 Warriors right there for Iowa. 2 straight boy dog Warriors. You see Ed Hinkle, he's going to keep working. He's got Everett coming underneath and actually has pretty good coverage. Again, confidence and comfort. He's got the confidence to throw to his comfort, which is Ed Hinkle.
Just under 7 minutes to go. And never underestimate the Iowa Hawkeyes when it comes to bowl magic in the state of Florida. Well, they did it last year, winning on the last sequence of the game. Hinkle, Tate, sounds like a law firm. Well, they're bringing law and order to the field right now. We'll be right back.
The front and rear pillars of the F-150 are insulated with an innovative heat-activated foam to reduce noise, making it as quiet as a luxury vehicle. A luxury vehicle that can tow 9,900 pounds.
Tampa Bay. Free shots of adrenaline with every visit.
Right now, a high-performance Dell XPS system with an Intel Pentium D processor with dual-core processing and a 19-inch flat panel can be yours for only $969. And for unlimited time, qualifying XPS customers pay no interest for 18 months. XPS, the ultimate Dell PC.
What if there was a phone as advanced on the inside as it is on the outside? With the power to watch live TV, download music wirelessly, get news, sports, and weather at broadband speeds. With the Sprint PowerVision network, now there is. Behold the ultra-thin, ultra-smart MMA 900 by Samsung. The first phone that's equally brilliant inside and out. See the future of phones today, exclusively available at Sprint or Nextel stores. Sprint, yes you can.
Big Ten 0-3. Big Ten Conference in bowl play so far, 0-3. Iowa carrying the flag today along with Wisconsin. And here's a look at the last scoring drive. Hinkle with a 14-yard touchdown catch from Drew Tate. Remember, it was a year ago, around this time, in the bowl game that Iowa played in. Capital One, they came back and won on a late catch by Warren Holloway. Iowa getting ready to kick off.
This is where some of their big-time players, specifically Greenway and Hodge, somebody needs to step up and make a play, whether it's turnover, big hit. They've got to get off the field with 3 downs.
Too early for the onside kick?
Yeah, too early for the onside. You got 2-possession game, you're down 10. One of the possessions a field goal, 6:59 with all 3 timeouts. Play ball, kick her away.
Chad Greenway, Abdul Hodge, and the rest of the defense for Norm Parker are going to get on the field in just a few moments.
Urban's yelling at the officials about something.
Kick comes down to the 5 to Manson. Manson got blown up, straight up jacked at the 9-yard line by Zach Gableman. And the defense going to take their cue from Gableman and come onto the field with just under 7 minutes to go.
This is where Florida has to at least control the football. But watch Gableman. You talk, close the gate in front of the ball. You make a tackle when your team needs a play.
Deshaun Wynn in at tailback, 1st and 10 for the Gators. Luke gives it to Wynn. And Wynn gets about 3 moving the pile. Let's go back to Reese in the studio.
Mark, the Big Ten stepping up down I-4 from you guys, too, in the Capital One Bowl. Wisconsin and Auburn. John Stocco looking for Owen. He doesn't have any friends, but he's got hands and a touchdown. Owen Daniels putting Wisconsin on top of Auburn, 17-0 there in the second quarter. And coming up, as soon as we finish football, we'll turn our attention to hoops. What a showdown coming. Texas and Memphis. You'll see Darius Washington in a bit.
And Darius Washington against Daniel Gibson, two of the great guards in the country. That one coming up right after this. 2nd and 7. Leak to Win. And Win is brought down at the 15-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5 coming up. Chad Greenway making the tackle for Iowa.
Chad Greenway showing his range. Why he's so attractive to NFL teams is the size that he brings to the table, also his ability to run. Ex-quarterback, something Iowa likes to do. Remember Dallas Clark, ex-quarterback, great tight end for the Colts.
Hawkeye fans rising up as one right now on 3rd and 5. Florida is 8 of 15 on 3rd down today. Leak gonna run and drilled by Abdul Hodge.
Well, I tell you, Mark, great players play great in big games. And before this series started, we say Hodge and Greenway have got to come out and be a factor. Hodge makes 2 tackles. Greenway makes 1. But watch Abdul Hodge take coverage, get his back on the quarterback, not stopping, comes in and delivers the beatdown on Chris Leak. Play with some emotion, baby.
That's why they call Hodge the hitman. 4th and 1. Setting an Outback Bowl record for tackles today with 16. Wilbur with the punt, and they fake it, and get the first down. Billy Latsko. And Urban Meyer, the Sly Fox out of Gainesville, comes up with a huge pivotal play.
What a call. What a gutsy call. Now, actually, Iowa did a good job of recognizing the fake. But Latsko, being a fullback and running skills, has too much power and just runs through the tackle of Marcus Schnorr.
The courage that it took to make that call cannot be measured. If that would have backfired. Instead, it's 1st and 10 from the 24. Leak. Jackson with the catch at the 45. So after Iowa gets the momentum in their favor on the big Greenway and Hodge back-to-back plays, Florida takes it right back. Don't forget, coming up next, number 16 Texas against number 4 Memphis.
There's some toughness by Chris Leak right there. One taking a hit, then coming back, delivering a strike.
And there's a flag on the Iowa side of the field. Meanwhile, Jackson with his 7th catch today. His 88th of the season, tying a single-season receptions record. It was held by Carlos Alvarez. Here's the call.
Sideline warning against Iowa. That's their first.
How huge was that fake punt on 4th down by Florida?
Man, Mark, it was huge, but actually you're not surprised when you look at the attitude that this Florida Gator team came in and being aggressive the whole game.
Easton Moore with a tailback, and he takes the handoff. Makes it near midfield to about the 49-yard line. One more look at the carry by Billy Latsko.
A direct snap, and actually Iowa reads it pretty well. You see Schnorr come in, and he just could not secure the tackle, and Latsko fighting for the extra yardage to gain the first down and possibly secure the football game for the Gators.
Iowa calls a timeout, and we're going to keep it right here. Chris, surprising in the respect that that's not usually the part of the field where you fake a punt. Well, usually it's closer, maybe between the 40s or so.
Yeah, and that's probably why he ran it, because he didn't think Iowa would be expecting it. And actually, again, Iowa didn't do bad in defending it because nobody rushed up the field. It's just Latsko showed great effort of getting there. But the aggressiveness of the way Florida's played this football game is they have not relented. One, they come out in the first defensive punt. Their punt return team comes in, blocks the punt and decides to go for it, take a chance there. They score a touchdown. The other issue is when Florida got the ball with 1:10 left to go, they didn't sit on it and try to kill the clock with 10-point lead. They took it down and tried to score, eventually did score before the second half. And there you see the playing to win, not to lose, running a fake punt with 1 yard to go and getting it done.
They used to think that Steve Spurrier was a gambler and creative. Well, today's aerial shots of the Outback Bowl are being provided by the Outback Steakhouse airship, the Bloomin' Onion 1. The Outback Steakhouse is the proud title sponsor of the Outback Bowl, and the Outback Bowl would not be complete without the Bloomin' Onion. Great shots today provided by our blimp. What a wonderful time it's been here in the Tampa area. Both teams have been out and about and enjoyed the topography here and the beaches and Ybor City. And it has been an incident-free Outback Bowl. Both teams really representing their schools and their conferences and themselves well. 2nd down and 6 for Chris Lake in Florida. Lake firing a little bit high for Dallas Baker. Working against Antoine Allen with 4:02 to go now in the 4th quarter.
And Dallas Baker, I saw in a previous play, is suffering from cramps. And right there's the ball he should catch. When it hits his hands, he's got good enough hands to catch. You can see him rubbing his hamstrings.
An interesting time to note that it was Chris Leak that checked himself into a hospital a little over a week ago after coming down here and suffering from dehydration. They stuck some IVs in his arms and got him right. 3rd down and 6. Leak complete at the 34, comes right back to Baker for the 1st down, working against Antoine Allen one more time and picking up 16. Look at our stat track. Rushing yards, advantage Florida. Passing yards, advantage Iowa. Penalties, this is not something you want to win. Iowa has had more penalties, a couple of them very questionable.
Yeah, 2 costly ones at the end of the 1st half, which actually helped lead the Gator offense to the end zone right before halftime.
Deshaun Wynn now in a tailback for the Gators. Takes the handoff from Lake down to the 32-yard line. Abdul Hodge making the tackle, and every tackle that he makes from this point on will be an Outback record for tackles in a single game. The Fort Lauderdale Hammer out of Boyd Anderson High School, about 3 hours down the turnpike. Has shown well today. And Iowa calls a timeout. They've got 1 remaining with 3:29 to go in the 4th quarter. Iowa's been to 5 consecutive bowl games, 4 straight bowl games on New Year's Day or after. And Florida looking to notch its first bowl victory in the last 4 tries. Urban Meyer perhaps staring at his 9th win of the season. Let's go back to Reese in the studio. Reese?
All right, Mark, just as soon as you guys are done, the high-flying Rodney Carney of the Memphis Tigers. Tigers getting set to take on Texas. See which Longhorn team shows up. You know, this could be a Final Four type preview, Jonesy. A couple of good ball clubs coming up.
Yeah, certainly Rod Carney, 6-man at times, a starter at times, really a selfless and talented players. Certainly with the people that I've spoken to in NBA personnel circles, general managers, a 1st-round pick. He and Darius Washington and Marcus Aldridge of Texas, one of the top players in the nation as well. 2nd down and 8 back on the gridiron. Win in motion, and Leak going to show his running skills. That time did not go down. He was tackled by Hodge.
Yeah, Abdul Hodge has really played his heart out at senior season. He's down here in his home state, and I'll tell you, he is impressed today. And if scouts get a hold of this film, they're going to be impressed with his ability to make plays.
Hodge, 6'3", 234, a senior, playing alongside Chad Greenway, 6'4", 244, also a senior. But the story today has been the Florida Gators and their opportunistic ways, capitalizing on turnovers. Talk about bowl streaks. Florida amongst the leaders. Michigan with 31 straight bowl games. Florida State next with 23. Florida State going to play Penn State. The FedEx Orange Bowl on ABC. That's coming up. And Florida next with 15 straight bowl games. They were here a couple of years ago. The then head coach was Ron Zook. And this unit, Chris, with no slight to Ron Zook or disrespect his way, this unit of the Florida Gators, this year's edition of the Florida Gators, seemingly much more locked in and disciplined.
Yeah,
and crisp in their execution.
Well, I think change is good for both parties. Ron Zook's going to do a great job at Illinois once he's able there and get his recruits in. And it's the type of coach that the Florida program needed. And Urban Meyer, you know, when he went to Bowling Green, he had to sell that football is important, not only to the players, but to the community. Same thing at Utah. He didn't have to sell that to the community of Florida. Everybody knows how important it is to the Florida community, but he has to sell to his players that it's not about you, it's about Gator Nation. It has nothing to do with you. You're just a small piece, and he's just a small piece. He's just the one that has charge of all the pieces.
Some impressive numbers there under Urban Meyer. 145 rushing, 222 passing, and tell you a bit about his management skills after this play on 3rd and 6. Would really be a blow to Iowa if Florida could keep this drive alive, and the Gators signal for a timeout. Actually,
yeah, they only had 10 guys in the ball game. They've only had 10 players.
How does that happen coming out of a timeout?
That should not happen coming out of a timeout.
Let's go back to Reese in the studio.
All right, Mark, got a classic going in the Cotton Bowl right now. Alabama and Texas Tech. Tech shut down all day until Cody Hodges hits Jared Hicks. Texas Tech ties the game at 10, but the Tide's on the move, deep in Raider territory, under a minute to go.
All right, thanks a lot, Reese. And back here with 3:24 to go. It's a 10-point lead for Florida. And Chris, you know, you look at the coaching style and management style of Urban Meyer, the head coach at Florida. They say he's not a micromanager, but he did admit this week to us that he does bed checks himself. Now, New Year's Eve, he gave his players an 11 o'clock curfew, extended it to midnight so they could see in 2006, and then proceeded to do the bed checks himself.
Well, I think it's leadership by example. If he's going to demand a lot of his players, then they want to see that he's committing to the program and committing to everything that he believes in by his actions. And not only does he demand it of himself, but he also demands it of his assistant coaches, Mark. They're responsible for knowing the player's girlfriend's name, knowing the parent's cell phone number, and really getting to know the kid and the people around the kid. And that's a lot of work for an 85-man roster to know everybody on your team and their closest friends.
By the way, partner, on New Year's Eve, you didn't have the lampshade on your head dancing or anything like that.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I don't think.
You were watching film.
Yes.
10-point lead, 3rd and 6. Gators looking to convert. Deshaun Wynn brought down short of the first down at the 30-yard line by who else but the ubiquitous Abdul Hodge.
He's all over the place also.
This game just getting underway in Memphis. No score. They've just tipped off a great showdown between Memphis and Texas.
I think Texas kind of, weren't they number 2 at one time?
Took some hits from Duke. Another one after that from Tennessee as well.
J.J. Redick was dropping threes that game, I believe. I think I watched that one.
And Sheldon Williams inside. We'll go back to the hotel and lock it in a little bit. On 4th and 6, they're going to go for it. No need to fake on this one. They try to run the comeback screen, the jailbreak screen to Baker, and it's batted down by Chad Greenway. And Iowa takes over on downs at the 31-yard line.
The reason why you go for it is probably try to dry the stake. If you get the first down, the game's over. They obviously like to play against the matchup, but Chad Greenway showing his athleticism by getting up and not jumping too early and knocking the ball down, where Chris Leak is only about 5'11", and he does have that problem where guys will tip his passes.
Albert Young in a tailback. Drew Tate with 2:35 to go. His team down 10. Complete to Chandler, who unbelievably hangs on after taking the hit from D. Webb.
Now you stop the clock, though, because they marked him at the first down marker. And that's a great job of Chandler taking a shot, and he knows he's going to take the shot because it's cover 2, and the corner was sitting right there waiting for Chandler to run his route right into him.
Does the ghost of Warren Holloway live? Can Iowa come back? It was batted down that time by Marcus Thomas.
Yeah, that's where Marshall Yanda's got to go ahead and cut Thomas. Why do you cut the guy in a quick throw to get his hands down? You go and put your helmet through his kneecaps, he's got to put his hands down automatically to protect himself or to break his fall as he's hitting the ground.
With Brad Banks, former quarterback and great at Iowa, watching from the sidelines. Drew Tate taking the snap out of the shotgun on 2nd down and 10. Florida with a blitz. Tate escapes and completes it to Clinton Solomon. His progress is going to be marked at the 46-yard line. He was working against Vernell Brown. He picks up 12, and it's another first down for the Hawkeyes with 2:09 to go in the 4th.
Important to note, Iowa has 0 timeouts left, so they have to get first downs as much as they can to keep the clock stopped.
Tate to pass again. Albert Young out of the backfield. Down to the 42, brought down by Silent. Clock still running. Picked up about 4 on the play. 2nd down and about 6 to go. Iowa with no timeouts remaining.
Florida had 12 men on field. Florida had 12 men on the field, and the officials missed it.
Grigsby, Chris, meanwhile, gets the first down at the 28. Stops the clock with 1:42 to go while they move the chains. Picked up 14.
Again, another missed call by the officials. Florida comes in with a late substitution. The player did not get off the field. There were 12 men on the field. Unbelievable.
More heat coming from the Gators, and it's batted down. Off the edge was Reggie Lewis. Let's take one more look. Where's the extra guy?
Right here. He's trying to get off the field. Stephen Harris, he's not off the field when the ball is snapped. That's 12 men on the field. Should have been a flag.
Florida catching a break. 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Hawkeyes from the Gators 28. Solomon is split to the bottom of your screen. Tate looks his way. Solomon couldn't get to it. Vernell Brown, who already has a touchdown off a pick today, in on the coverage. Well, it was last year against LSU that Iowa had a miraculous comeback. Drew Tate firing to Warren Solomon, 56 yards with 14 seconds to go for the comeback victory. Are there such heroics left in the arm of Drew Tate today? They were seemingly dead at the time. 3rd down and 10. Don't forget, coming up next, Texas against Memphis. College basketball right here. Great run. Texas leading in that game 5-2 right now. Tate with all day, and it's batted away at the last moment by Earl Everett. The intended receiver was Scott Chandler. 1:29 to go. Iowa with no timeouts remaining. Florida with 1.
I like the call right here. Going for the field goal. If you get it, then you obviously have the onside kick because you have 0 timeouts left, and you do need a field goal at some point. Now better than never.
He's got to make it, though. Kyle Schlicker in.
Missed one earlier.
Schlicker is true on this one. So the Hawkeyes now within a touchdown with 1:24 to go. And out of timeouts. Florida has 1 timeout remaining.
Let me go over the fundamentals of an onside kick, Mark. What you want to do if you're the receiving team of the onside kick, you designate one man to be the guy that receives his ball, especially on a high hopper. You other guys have to go and start taking fools out that's coming down on the kickoff team. You just got to go blow people up and do your best you can to protect the designated receiver. Now, from the kickoff team point of view, the first rule, stay onside. Do not jump offside. Get the ball to 10 yards, and you want to try to short hop it twice and be able to get that high bounce where you turn it into a jump ball. Whoever executes better usually comes down with the football. You want a 50-50 chance, you must get the ball on a high hop. Now, on an AstroTurf field or a field turf field, certainly easier to do than on grass. So right now, I give advantage Florida.
Why is that? Is it because of the bounce?
Yeah, because of the bounce.
Well, Kyle Schlicker, #1 right there for Iowa, will be the man to execute the onside kick for the Hawkeyes. Remember, they're out of timeouts. They'd have to move quickly, even if they are fortunate enough to recover it. Making his intentions well known as to which side it's apparently coming to.
Yeah, there's a lot of dew on the field this morning, which has made this field a little bit soft. Execution.
Schlicker got a nice bounce. It's up. It's loose. Hawkeyes got it. Wow. Chandler with the recovery at the 45.
Got a flag. You got a flag.
There's a flag down, though, at the 42-yard line on the near side of the field.
It looked to me like everybody was onside. I'll tell you, man.
Offside on the kicking team. Number 18. The 5-yard penalty.
Call it on Greenway. Yep.
That was one of your tenants. Yeah. You said you got to stay onside.
#1 rule, stay onside. Now let's take a look at it and see if if they're correct. There's this, and there's the.
Where?
Keep going, keep going. That's a bad call.
Oh,
they're getting home. I mean, this is, you know, really, this is to me, it's unconscionable that close you could make that call. There's the foot on the ball. He has not crossed the line. Are you kidding me? And I just get upset because he's not crossed the line.
Well, they're going to try it again from the 30. Got another good bounce, but Florida recovers this one. Chad Jackson on the hands team. And that, in essence, might kill the hopes and ambitions of Iowa. And you can hear a chorus of boos showering down on the officiating crew out of Conference USA.
There's too much on the line to keep missing calls.
Chad Greenway called for offside when, at least from our vantage point,
from the angle that we had, he wasn't.
A disclaimer from our vantage point, it appeared as if he wasn't. From down in the field, it may have looked different. 1st and 10 in Iowa with no timeouts remaining. Florida with 1. This league takes a lead.
Chad, well, take a look at it again. And Kirk Ferentz has a right to be upset. Here's Greenway right here. And watch when the ball's kicked. He is behind the line of scrimmage. That is unconscionable to make that call. The game is too fast for these officials. And I'm sorry if I'm hard on them, but I'm passionate about this game, and guys are playing their hearts out. They execute a play, and they took it away from them.
Kirk Ferentz has reason to be very, very bilious and upset right now. As Chris Leak will defeat the school that he lost to a couple of years ago in this Outback Bowl. Chris Leak at one point thought about attending Iowa. Lost to the Hawkeyes 37-17 2 years ago, and the boos continue to shower down on the officials, but that should not tarnish the accomplishments of Urban Meyer's Florida Gators today. They were opportunistic early and set the tone of the day with the block punt and the recovery for the touchdown, and an interception for a touchdown by Vernell Brown of the Gators in the 2nd period. It was an uphill battle for the Hawkeyes afternoon long, and Dallas Baker is our Capital One player of the game with 10 catches for 147 yards and a couple of touchdowns. A rough day on the officials. Several controversial and questionable calls, but nonetheless Florida with its first bowl win in the last 4 tries. They win by 7. For Rob Stone, Chris Spielman, and our entire gang, I'm Mark Jones. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Right now to Dave O'Brien and Jay Billis in Memphis.